There we
Yep,
go.
been there
There we
now.
go. There we go.
Bound to be my lady, bound to be my baby.
Yeah.
Noise, noise.
Hey.
Okay,
Waiting by. Waiting by.
I'm feeling it.
All right. All right. How was that, y'all? You guys feel that? You
Yeah.
guys
So
feel that?
good.
All right.
good.
We are good. We are good to go. So, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining this show. As you guys know, my name is Will. I'm the host of this podcast. And before I introduce my beautiful guest for you guys, I do want to address some things. I do want to address some things real quick because I have received a lot of backlash from people. They kind of disagreed or disliked what I said from the last weekend's episode, which I don't mind. Which I don't mind. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. I encourage people to speak their mind, and that's the point of this podcast: is to have healthy, open conversations about dating, sex, relationships. We don't always have to agree with one another, but we can respect and understand each other. So I want to take the time to kind of explain my position of where I stand when it comes to dating, sex, relationships, so you guys can better understand me, where I'm coming from, as you guys continue to watch more shows that we'll host the next couple weekends. So people that know me, I'm a very practical, pragmatic person when it comes to life. This podcast is having open, real, honest conversations about dating, sex, and relationships. But the key word I want to focus on, y'all, is real and honest. Because I believe the biggest problem today when it comes to dating is that people are not being real and honest about why they're not attracting the man or woman they want. We are not accepting the reality of what men want and what women want. You know, women want to blame the men and men want to blame the women, but instead of looking at yourself first and ask yourself, am I doing the things I need to do to attract the man or woman I want in my life? People today want the outcomes without doing any of the work or taking accountability of why they constantly don't keep attracting bad relationships or why they can't sustain a long-term healthy relationship. And that's why people are mad at me. A lot of you are mad at me for last week because your feelings are getting evolved instead of looking at the facts and looking at the reality of today's dating culture and what men and women really want. You know, facts over feelings. Everything I say on this podcast are not my feelings. It's facts, it's reality, it's real life experiences talking to men and women my whole life. And of course, being a man myself. So here's some facts I want to give you guys. First, this is what I believe. I believe that men and women are different because of our biological nature. That's a fact. Because we are different. We have inherent personalities and traits because of our biology, hence masculine and feminine traits. So as men and women, we are different in how we see, analyze, interpret things based on our biology, especially when it comes to dating. The problem that a lot of women have today is they believe that the same qualities that they look for in men is what men look for in women. You know, men, ever since the caveman days, we have always been the provider and protector. So we do exhibit inherent masculine traits like logical, confidence, assertiveness, because we are men. So that's how we show our love. We are hardwired to show our love to providing and protecting for the woman we are attracted to. Women, ever since the caveman days, have always been the nurturers and carriers. So a lot of women exhibit inherent feminine traits like being emotional, understanding, passiveness because of your biology. So women show their love by fidelity, by caring and supporting for their man. And for me, based on as I grew up, that has always worked since the beginning of time. You know, the natural balance of yin and yang, that dark and light, masculine and feminine. If you think about it, if you look at all the people in your life right now, people that have lived, that have had married for a long time and never been separated and never been divorced. If you look, especially my parents have never been divorced and never been separated. There's always a masculine and feminine. You know, my dad had the masculine presence in the household, and my mom had the feminine presence in the household, and that has always worked. Outside of abuse, cheating, and violence, I really believe that that's how real life relationships work. And I believe the problem with today's culture, society, and all these movements that we see, they're trying to go against the idea that a female can do a man's role in the relationship and a man can do a woman's role in the relationship and still be attracted to each other. And I believe that's a problem today. There are many things only men can do. in a relationship based on their biology that women can't do, and vice versa. There are things that women can do that men can't do, especially when it comes to relationships, marriage, and building a solid family. I know for a perfect example, one of the things you guys where I got a lot of backlash was my views on why most men are not attracted to independent women. And for a lot of you guys, like I said, I want to give you guys some facts. You know, independence is a personality trait which a person prefers to act on his or her thoughts and feelings instead of taking the view of other people, which means that if you're independent, you're more likely to be disagreeable. If you do look at research studies and evidence, then men are usually more disagreeable than women, and women are more agreeable. So this is not really my own opinion. This is a fact that I looked up in research. That's why a masculine man and a feminine woman work together in a relationship, just like our parents, because one's agreeable, one's disagreeable, and that's why they complement each other. And that's why a lot of women who are independent today, which I have no problem, you're free to make your own choice, they're already disagreeable because they're independent. And so that's why oftentimes they struggle to find a man, because most men are disagreeable in nature. So when two people that have disagreeable personalities, that's why it's really, really hard to connect. And that's why a lot of guys are not really attracted to independent women. And that's my viewpoint. That's where my viewpoint comes. And if you look at the data, if you look at the research, you look at the study, there are countless surveys that you can look up online, research and studies that show that a lot of the women who are independent now in America that make more money than the average guy, that are focused on their career, that have a high intelligence, there's a high rate of a lot of them are being single today. And as they get older, a lot of them are not married, a lot of them are single. So that's why I always say that it doesn't come from my own opinion. It comes from research and studies I've seen that women who tend to be more independent based on the studies, they tend to find it hard to struggle to attract a man. Also, one of the things I often hear from a lot of women, and a lot of the things you guys asked me, was my viewpoint that independent women, they want to be self-sufficient, they want to be self-reliant because they don't want to rely on a man. Because if you want to be independent, you want to rely on yourself, because what if a man leaves her and she's left with nothing? So that's why I always say that for a lot of people out there that are independent, it's usually, I've seen, it usually comes from an emotional feeling that you guys had a bad experience with a guy. And that's why you guys oftentimes feel like that you have to be independent. And I know a lot of the women that ask me, why would a woman rely on a man? A woman should always be independent. We shouldn't rely on a man, and because the man can leave you guys, can divorce you guys, and leave you guys out to dry. But I just want to give you guys some facts to think about. I don't know if you guys know, but if you look at the statistics in America, the divorce rates are over 50%. And if you look at the divorce rates, that are over 50% in America, and if you look at who are initiating the divorces, a majority of it are women. 80% of all divorces in America are initiated by women. So the truth is that men are not leaving the relationship, are not leaving the women out to dry. It's the women are the ones that are initiating the divorces and initiating the break up the families and leaving the men out to dry. So I just want to put it out there. Like I said, however you guys want to feel about that, but the data, the stats, look it up, check it out for yourself. And like I said, the number one reason for women to initiate divorce and to leave the family is because of money. And that's why I always tell a lot of guys, don't fall for being the nice guy, because the nice guys are end up getting divorced and getting left by the women. So that's why I always advise guys to be a strong masculine man with stability and be the best man you can be, so you're gonna attract the best woman that you want. So because at the end of the day, when we get divorced, and we lose 50% of our resources, and if you've seen 90% of child custody cases, the women get the child. So I know that's one of the biggest things somebody asked me was, what about double standards? At the end of the day, look, double standards, it happens to all of us, and men and women. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, we just have to accept it for what it is. So I just want to put it out there for you guys. And I just want to put out there first, also in America, there's this big culture that if a woman leaves a relationship in society, they call that woman empowerment and leaving her and knowing her worth if she leaves the relationship from a guy. But if a man decides to leave a relationship in American society, that man gets dehumanized, that he didn't love the woman. So today, if you look at society and culture, women are empowered and are perfectly okay talk about their needs and their standards and wants, which I am all for. I don't disagree with that. You guys should have needs and standards. But at the same time, if a man speaks up and talks about their needs, and a man speaks up, talk about our wants and our standards, but we get labeled and dehumanized, and we get labeled as controlling by other women in society if a man speaks up and talks about what he wants out of a relationship. I just want to throw that fact out there for you guys to think about. And this is why a lot of things I say on this podcast are foreign for a lot of women out there, because you guys can't understand what I'm saying, because it's never been said out loud before by the men in your life. And in today's society, men, we never had a platform to talk about our struggles, our needs, and our wants, because society expects men just to deal with it, be tough, be masculine, hold it, just bottle it up, don't say anything. And a lot of men are afraid to be canceled by society. A lot of men are afraid to say what they really want to say, because I guess a lot of women may not be attracted to them. And to be honest, for a lot of ladies out there, I want to give you guys the uncomfortable truths. A lot of the guys out there, they just want to tell you guys want to hear, because a lot of guys just want to have sex. So they know if they tell you guys their truth, that what they want and how they really feel, a lot of you guys may not have sex with them. That's why most guys would just tell you guys want to hear. But the good thing for me, I don't care what people say. I'm not afraid of being canceled by people. I'm confident in myself as a man, and I'm not trying to have sex with you guys. So I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to speak reality, not feelings, not fantasy, and provide evidence, data, statistics of the many things that we go through today in today's dating culture. So I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. And also one last thing for everybody out there that's been commenting in my videos, I decided there's a lot of nasty stuff. A lot of you guys were saying nasty things, not only on my video, but also a lot of you guys were saying some things about me, which I don't mind, but I did take the time to kind of just take a step back and let you guys say what you never say. I didn't respond to none of those comments that you guys put on my videos. But but one thing I did do, I did research, and I did check out a lot of the profiles of the people that left a lot of negative comments just to see who you were and what you were doing. And I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion, my honest observation, because a lot of you guys were men and women. You guys were both sending me comments. I noticed on your profiles, a lot of you guys, I'm gonna keep it honest. I saw it in your profile. Some of you guys were divorced. Some of you guys were overweight. Some of you guys were old as single as hell. Some of you guys, I saw in your profiles that you weren't married, but you guys had multiple kids. And you guys were all saying these negative things like men are trash or women are trash or all these negative comments and negative energy I saw in your comments. But you were leaving comments to give advice about relationships, and you guys were complaining about the things I had to say. So the one thing I do want to say is for everybody out there that did want to leave their comments, I just want to ask you real quick, what are you actually doing to improve your dating and sex relationship experience? I want to ask you that question. And the reason why I am confident in my opinion as a man, and it's because I don't just talk about dating, sex, relationships. I actually back it up. I actually back it up with work, with action. I actually talk to women. This is not my opinion. It's a fact. I talk to a lot of women, and I ask them, what do they really want? And I listen to understand. I don't listen to reply and complain about what they tell me. And that's the difference, I believe, between me and a lot of people out there that's commenting on my videos. Because I've asked a lot of women, and they said, for women said that they want financial stability. Great. So for me, when I hear women that say they want financial stability, I go and put in the work. I go get a job. I build a career. I make sure I'm financially stable in life and make sure my life is in order. So check. A lot of women say that they want a guy that's attractive. Great. You know what I do instead of complaining? I go to work. I work out. I'm healthy. I make sure I take care of my health. You see these guns right here, boy? Solid muscle, boy. Like I said, I go take care of myself. All right. A lot of women say they want a guy that's tall. Great. Thank God my mom and dad blessed me with genetics. I'm 6'3", so I'm good with that. A lot of women say they want a guy that's ambitious and purpose. Great. You know what I did? Instead of complaining and leaving comments on people's section, I actually work on my purpose. I actually work on my goals and dreams. I actually went out there to make a difference in this world. I actually created this first dating, sex, relationship podcast for you guys to come on my platform to watch this. And that's what I did. A lot of girls asked, and I asked a lot of girls, what do they want? They want a guy that's God-fearing. Great. You know what I did? When I center my life around God, I talk about God. I make content about, encourage people around God. God is my savior. A lot of women say they want a guy that's loyal. They want a guy that's communicative, that's talking, that understands them. Great, that's what I do. I talk to them. I make sure I work on my skills to communicate with women. I work on my skills, focus on my mental health to make sure I'm emotionally stable. So these are all the things that a lot of women have asked, that this is what they want. And this is based on my conversation with all these women. And I put in the work for myself to make sure I do the things I need to do to attract women. I don't sit around and complain. And the one thing I don't do is I don't criticize women for having standards. I don't criticize women for what they want. So instead of for me complaining on what they want and criticizing them, I actually stepped up my game. I actually put in the work to make sure I meet everything they want. And that's why today I don't have trouble attracting women, right? So the question for all you guys out there, especially the women that were saying a lot of negative things about me, I want to ask you guys, are you willing to do the same thing for the men? I was willing to step up my game for the women. But for a lot of ladies out there, want to keep it 100. Are you willing to step up your game for the men? And don't just talk to talk. I want you to walk it like you talk it. So my question is for all the people out there, especially everybody out there, want to give you your 2 cents in my comments. especially the women who disagree with me with what men want, I want to ask you ladies, do you actually know what men want? Have you ever asked the men what do they want? Do you know? Have you asked them? Do you even care about it, what we want? And if the men actually told you guys the truth of what we want, how many of you women are willing to listen, to understand, not to reply, not to complain, listen to understand and actually work on yourself and improve yourselves? So if you're a single woman out there and what are you doing to improve yourself to be attracted to men? And same thing for the men out there. If you're a single man out there, what are you doing to be attracted to a lot of women? And I tell you guys out there, like I said, if you guys are single, if you guys struggle to find a relationship, I'm telling you, it's not the men. There's a lot of good men out there. It's not the women. There's a lot of good women out there. It's not the world. It's you. You're the reason that you're struggling. You're the reason why you're not attracting a relationship, right? Like I said, if you're overweight, that's probably the reason, right? If you have multiple kids and the baby daddy's not around and that's the person you chose to be with, that's probably a reason, right? If you don't have a job, you don't have a career, that's probably a reason. All right. If you have issues, if you still think about your ex, if you haven't moved on from the past relationship, that's probably a reason. I'm just keeping it real. So before you come on the comments and before you come and ask and tell me of saying things about me or saying things about the things I say, like I said, I want you guys to express your feelings. I want you guys to express your views. But before you say something, I just want to ask you, are you doing the things that you need to do? Or are you just talking? Are you just complaining? Or are you just saying shit? Right? So that's all I have to say for you guys. And also, like I said, if you're not working on yourself, right? If you're not working on yourself, I'm telling you, especially in today's social media dating culture, there's always a better option. There's always a better option. Why would any man or woman take care of it if you're not willing to get better? That's one of the biggest things I hear in today's society is just accept me as I am. Just take me. If you don't want to take me, why would I take you? Why should I take you when there's a better option? Why? I'm not gonna accept you. Like if you deserve better, then get better. But like I said, but you can't get better if you're not willing to get better. So like I said, and of course some of you guys might say, hey, guys in my DMs and I get guys hollering at me all the time just the way I am. Great. How many of those guys are willing to marry you? Or just didn't want to have sex with you? So don't confuse that. So this is the truth. If you don't work to improve yourself, you don't get who you want. You only get who is available. And just because someone's with you right now, it just means that was the only option you had. And it doesn't qualify you to give advice about dating, sex, and relationships. So like I said, it's not the men's fault. It's not the women's fault. It's your fault. And that's the issue today. People are not taking accountability and love to blame and complain why they're dating, sex, relationship life sucks and not happy with the relationship they're currently in. Nah, you suck. Take accountability. That's life. If you don't get what you want out of life, it's not the world's fault. It's your fault. So before you come and give your 2 cents, look at your own life. Everything I say on this podcast, I back it up with work. I back it up with evidence and facts. Your life does not change unless you change. And this is a sad fact. And this is the reality. A lot of you guys are going to die alone and single because you're not willing to change. And the data shows that today we have the highest rate of single women, independent women, and women who have never been married over 30 compared to any generation in your history and time. Look it up. There are so many men and women today that are going to die single because they're not willing to improve their life. And this is why I have this podcast, and this is why I have these conversations. And if that doesn't scare you, you know what? I hope you buy a cat or dog because at least you have somebody. At least you have somebody. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish anybody to die single, but if you don't change and if you don't improve and you don't do the things you need to do, and that's the reality. Look, you are free to make your own choices. Be independent, be dependent, whatever you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your life, but what I am saying is whatever you decide to do, you need to take accountability of your choices if you're not happy with the outcome. I don't judge anybody for their choices, but the problem is when people complain about the results of their life from the choices they made, especially when it comes to dating and sex relationships, that's when I have a problem. So I just want to keep it real with you guys. And just want to get off my chest real quick. And I guess it's time to start the show. All right, y'all, we good. You guys ready? I just had to get that off my chest. I just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, we feeling good. I know you feeling good now.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Shit. And if you guys want to add anything I said, if you guys want to add anything I said,
I wrote down a couple things, so I guess we can cover that when we start going.
that's it. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. Like I said, if you want to improve your dating sex relationships, then it starts with you. So don't come to me and try to complain about the things I'm telling things that the men are saying, and it's up to you to what you do with that information. But I'm gonna keep it real. So that's the whole purpose of this. And like I said, I want everybody to know the information. I want people to prepare to know what's going on so you can make the best decision for yourself. So you can find happiness, so you can find love, so you can find the right person. You don't find the right person, you attract the right person by being the right person, if that makes sense. All right, a lot of you guys want to attract the right man, but you're the right person, but you're the wrong person. You guys, you want to attract the prince, but you're a frog. All right, so this is, we're just keeping it real with you guys. But yeah, I'll let the men and women introduce themselves real quick. So please say your name, your age, and what you do. And I'll start off with the two beautiful ladies that have joined us on this show. And I'll start with Shinarah. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
My love family, I'm Shinarah Enosa. I'm 28, mum of 2 here in Auckland, New Zealand. I am an affiliate marketer, so I use my social media to create funny content, content of love and gratitude, and I kind of work on uplifting and empowering other people. So I'm really excited to be here and speaking in terms of relationships, sex, and the opposite sex, and what we love about our men and about ourselves. So yeah, I'll head it over to my sis Jani.
Thank you. All right. Jani, it's all you. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Thank you. Kia ora, my name is Jani. I'm also from Auckland, New Zealand. I'm 32 years old. I'm also an affiliate marketer. I love speaking around things on self-love and the mindset and relationship, sex, and all the things. So I'm also really grateful to be here. I have a big focus on, helping people to be the best version of themselves. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation, but I'm glad we're here, and I'm glad that we're here to actually talk about the things that people don't want to talk about. So thank you for having me here, and I'm excited for this.
All right, for sure. Thank you, Jani. Thank you. And last but not least, Alfred.
Yo, what's up, guys? My name's Alfred Uihamohaano. Most people know me by Unga. I'm 29 years old, and I live in Aurora, Colorado. Right now, at the moment, I've been working at the airport, just in the airport poly. But I'm really excited to be a part of this conversation. Personally, I have, I guess, my own little twist of how I think relationships should go. And so I definitely feel like I have a good foot in this conversation. Also, I'm gay, and I tend to have masculine traits about me, but I very lean into my feminine traits as well. So definitely I'm ready to break down some barriers and get down to the T.
All right. Thanks, Dogo. For sure. All right, so ladies, you guys ready for the first question? Here we go. Oh, you guys hear me? Jani?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
cool. All right, cool. So ladies, the first question I want to ask you guys, ask you guys real quick. So what do you guys look for in men to be attracted today? And real simple, what do you look for in men to be attracted to them casually, for casual relationship? And what do you look for to be attracted to men if a long-term committed relationship? And I'll start with that. That's how we do, Jani. Go, Jani.
Yeah, I'll go first then. Yeah, just before I start though, it's important to remember that everyone's always going to have different needs and wants. So just asking people what they want is never ever gonna give you the answer that you're looking for, because everyone wants different things. And the other thing that stood out to me in that question was, why are you looking for a casual relationship? Like, why are you looking for,
I like that.
why do you need to know the traits around what it is that someone wants in a casual relationship, and what makes you think that it might be different to a long-term relationship? I think it's really important to everything for me comes down to how much do you honor your own time and your own energy, and how much you're going to give that to another person. Because if it's just going to be a casual relationship, then that's cool, as long as you communicate that at the beginning. You know, if it's just for sex, if it's just for dating, if you just want a companion to hang out with in the weekends, then that's okay. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that want that, and that's beautiful. But the same thing as going into a long-term relationship, for me, the most important thing is that you know what you want. It's hard to go into a relationship where two people don't know what they want, because otherwise you're never going to realize whether or not you've gotten what you wanted out of that relationship. Do you want to get married? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to build a business together? There's so many different things. But the biggest one is definitely knowing what you want. Do you know what you want yourself, not the other person? Do you know who you are, and do you know where you are going along this journey? Do you know, how much is your career important to you? How much is your family important to you? How much do you want to make a family and have a family? And is that what you are looking for in another woman? And all of those things for me. And the other biggest thing definitely is communication.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter how much money someone makes. It doesn't matter how amazing the sex is. It doesn't matter how beautiful they look when they go out and all of those things. If you can't communicate the way that you feel, if you can't communicate what you want out of the relationship, and maybe the things that you don't want in a relationship, then it's never going to feel good for you. So communication, knowing where you're going, knowing who you are first. If you know who you are, then the person that you want to attract into your life is going to come to you regardless. If you don't know who you are, then it's very likely that you will attract someone into your life that maybe is a little bit lost on their pathway as well. And that's okay, because that can still work, because you can both work together. But once again, you both have to be at a level where you're both communicating maturely enough to know when you are maybe making someone else feel uncomfortable, or if you're uncomfortable with things that are coming up, and you can communicate that to the other person. So yeah, those are the main ones for me. Those are definitely the main ones. Communication, knowing who you are, knowing where you're going, and everything else you will attract back into your life. That's my own opinion, and that's how I feel.
All right,
Yeah.
so what I got from you was communication and knowing who you are, and where you're going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I asked the casual relationship and the long-term committed relationship, because that's the dating culture today. That's the dating culture today. People either looking for a casual relationship or looking for committed relationship. Some people only want one, or some people want one of the other, or a lot of people want both. But a lot of days I do see a lot of people are just going into casual relationships and hopefully start casual, then hopefully get something out of it and go into committed relationships. But that's why I brought it up. So Shinarah, same question.
Cool. So just a background on me, guys. I have been married for the last 6 years, in a long-term relationship for 9. We recently split, but I am not even looking for anyone else. Like, that guy is my soulmate, so he needs to do some personal growth for himself. But in terms of a casual, what I like about this question is that you did ask, and it's a little bit alien to me, because I have never been one to want a casual relationship. I've always been someone that's always looked for a companion in someone. But in terms of attraction, I can answer that shit easy. So for me, what I'm attracted to is intellect. If you can't fuck with me up here, I can't, we just don't have a connection. I can't stress this enough. It's real bad. Out last night, and I got asked for my number, but not once did a guy even ask what I did, or it's just like, oh, you're beautiful, and that's fucking it. And it's like, no, I can't. If you can't fuck with me, if we can't have that deep and meaningful, I don't give a fuck if we're in the club. If you can't connect with me here or here, it's just like I repel. So intellect's a really big one. Not everyone's at the same frequency, but I love sports. I love speaking business. I love speaking mindset. and growth. And where the fuck are you going in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself? Like, because I want someone that's going somewhere. My someone is absolutely my husband. He's coming with. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm dragging him with me. But yeah, 5'8", he's 5'8", funny, fucking, you know. Yeah, so for me it's like my attraction is him. There are beautiful guys out there. Yep, they can all fuck with my intellect and stuff, but you just don't, like, you just cannot fuck with me in that way. So in terms of attraction long term, it's my husband. He can fuck with my intellect. He's 5'8", funny as shit, the best fucking dad. And yeah, like, try and come for me with that, knock you all the way out to fucking
Okay.
But I'm sorry, yeah, that's it. I cannot, I'm so sorry. In terms of like feeling attracted to another male, I just don't have it. I am very blocked in that area because I'm not open to. So I just gave you what I like, what I want, and that's him.
All right, so you can't. Everybody heard you can't fuck with Shinarah. You know what that means? She got the. don't fuck with that. All right. She got the guns. All right, so Alfred, yeah, same question to you. I do want to ask you that question.
I mean, personally, for me, it's kind of like the same thing Shinarah was saying. You know, I guess what do I find attractive, or or what do I look for in relationships? I'm not a casual kind of person. Like, I've had my phase when I was out here, you know what I mean, just living my life and being young and single, and so I went through that. And now, as a grown up, right, I feel like I grew up. I'm looking for something more long term, that's more suits me personally. And when I do, like, what I do when I'm like out here dating guys, or just like meeting people, the first thing that attracts me is their like intellect, but more so conversation. Like, if you can keep a conversation up with me, and I can tell within the first 20 minutes that you're not like a bullshitter, or if you are a liar, or you know what I mean, or if your stories aren't just matching up, like, I keep that information to myself, but I don't like you. Like, I just start to like lose interest right away. Like, I mean, first things first, like, a lot of times I'm attracted to somebody right away because of how they look. And so definitely, I guess that's the easiest thing, right, to be attracted to somebody by. But a really huge turnoff is if you're not mentally there, or if you're just like a person that talks a big game but can't walk the talk, like, or if like you're, I don't know. I mean, you can always tell when you meet somebody that they're a bullshitter. You know what I mean? Like, so, and somebody that kind of just talks themselves up a lot. That's not interesting, or that's not attractive. And I don't know. It's also a little different because in the gay community, guys that do that, guys are very open to that, open to fuck buddies, or open to having like open relationships and stuff, and that seems to be like a trend now, where all these dudes are in open relationships, and like married couples are into that, and I'm just not into that. You know what I mean? I personally, I don't think that floats my boat. I would rather be very monogamous, and to be truthful, I guess I can be kind of jealous. So I don't like sharing my person, or my heart, I guess, my feelings. Yeah. I kind of, I don't know. I guess that's where I stand. Just like that, what's attractive is like somebody that can conversate. Oh, and if you have something going for yourself, like if you got life goals, or like if you're working a job, and like that's all you do is you spend time at work, it's because you know what I mean? Like, that's a goal. You're stacking money, you're stacking your bread, so that in hopes someday you get somewhere. Too many times I've met a lot of dudes that are losers. These guys don't do anything for themselves. They live their life on Instagram, and they look cool, but then like, I bet deep down inside they're the friend that's asking their friends for money, or like or guys that I've met guys that are kind of trust fund babies. All they do is party, and I'm like, you don't have nothing going for you. Like, you know what I mean? I know you party, you got all this money, and you got all this time to go to the gym and get a good looking body, but what else are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, how are you progressing in the life? Like, how are you, you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to give back? I guess some dudes are okay with that. Some dudes are okay with just like, you know, spending money and living the hype and doing all that. But to me, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I got to see your hustle. I got to see you sweat, you know, like put in some work. Because if I find out that you're just a partier, like I like to party too, but I get, you know, I feel like I take care of business, you know what I mean? Like, and I have money saved up, like, and I got mine, but I just need to know that if I get with you, you're not going to be leeching off of me rather than try to help me build our castle, you know what I mean? Like our dynasty. I want you to be able to help me as much as I can help you.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool. All right, thanks for sharing, by the way. So the reason I want to ask this reason why I asked this question, and this is one of the things I noticed, because a lot of guys are asking the question, right? Like, what do women want? That's the question a lot of guys are asking. What do women want? I think Jani said something really, really important. I think she said that everyone's different, right? Right, Jani said that it's subjective. Like it depends on the person and on the woman, that you guys all have different wants and needs. So for me, what I'm trying to do is like, what are tangible things? Because if we try to, like, you think about this, there's billions of women in the world. You guys all have wants and needs. It's literally impossible to try to meet everything you guys want. All right. So what I'm trying to focus on for a lot of guys out there is like, what are things that's tangible that you can do, that you can have the best opportunity to attract all women,
Yes.
right?
I like that question.
You know,
I like that.
So, and this is one thing, and for me, because I always hear ask women, you know, what do you want? It's like 100 things from every single person. And a lot of men are confused by that. And what the mistake a lot of men are doing is they're trying to try to be everything that the woman wants them to be, right? And I feel like it's instead of trying to, the best way you can do to attract a woman is, number one, just be the best version of yourself as a man. But I want to ask you guys this question real quick. One of the things one thing I did notice, both of you guys, both Jani and Shinarah, and also Alfred, you guys said you guys wanted a partner that's going somewhere, that knows what he wants. He's going somewhere. He's doing something with their life. Can we all agree?
Yeah.
So what does that translate into tangible things in the world right now, reality? Does that translate into, do you want somebody that has a career and stable?
No. So it
Stability?
doesn't.
Stability?
No. So it's more of a mindset. Like, you know what? So before you even get to that part, right? You know, we're going to be physically attracted to someone, right? That's always going to be the first thing. You're always going to be physically attracted to someone. Obviously, in some instances, attraction can occur over time after having like really beautiful conversations with that person. Absolutely, you can form an attraction there. But normally, absolutely, you're going to be physically attracted to this person, right? And then from there, you're going to be asking those questions. Oh, what do you do? And those questions are really important if you're attracted, because from that point, asking someone what they do, you're going to understand if you're going to go any further, because you need to understand whether what they're doing, where their mindset is, where they're going is in alignment with your values and where you're going and what you want for your own life. So like in terms of like, I understood you had this last week, and it was like, what about someone who has all these core values but works at McDonald's? And I guess for someone, they would have already known that that person worked at McDonald's at the time they were attracted when they asked those questions, right? And again, it's different for everyone. So like when we say we want someone that's going somewhere, it's still different. It's such a broad range, because where we're going is going to be different from where you're going. So
what does that mean for you when you say you want something, you want a man that's going somewhere? What does that mean for you? What is, like, specifically?
I want to know, like, in terms of like my husband, I want to know that he's not, either what he's doing really elevates his soul, he's passionate about it. So he works in a factory, he's a forklift driver, and I'm fucking happy. I've always made more money than him. That's not, finances have never been an issue for us. Okay. But I want to know that he's happy, that he's got goals, because like, you know, and that's one thing we're also working with is like, are you happy? Are you happy where you are? Do you know what you want to do? And a lot of the times, especially in our Islander community, we're so used to thinking that, oh, let's just get a factory job and that's it. And it's like, nah, we don't need to be like that. We can dream big. What do you actually want to do? And yes, we're almost 30 in the next couple of years, but so fucking what? Do you actually want to do something else? You can start now. Because, you know, I especially with me and my husband, we've grown up together. He was 18 and I was 19 when we met. So we've only matured over the last couple of years. We've only started to become more conscious and aware of what we're actually able to do with ourselves. And now we're actually asking those questions. Okay, cool. So I don't want to live this lifestyle. I don't want to hustle. I don't want to work so hard for money. Okay, cool. So what do you actually want to do? Well, for me, it was like, oh, well, I actually want to create a passive income and I want to replace my income like that. And it's like, okay, so what do you want to do? And he doesn't know, and that's okay. It's like, okay, cool. Are you willing to go there for yourself, for us? Because for me, again, it's like, yes, you know, he was able to fuck with my intellect for a while. It's now, okay, cool. So we've hit a ceiling because my intellect's still going. Are you coming with me or are you not? And it's okay to grow apart. But also for me, the way I am, I love this man. So it's like you have the ability to come with, like, are you willing to grow with me or are you happy to stay here? For me, my needs is that I can't stay.
But I do want to ask you this question. So if your husband decides that he doesn't want to improve, he just wants to stay where he's at.
Yeah, we've already.
No, I'm just saying hypothetical because I'm just trying to use that as an example for everybody out there. So
it's not happening for me, and he knows that.
Okay, cool.
I've you know, because I think it's okay to stay. It absolutely is okay to stay, and it's absolutely okay to grow apart. It's just that you both have to be okay with your guys' decision, and for us, it's like we're working through it. But we're very understanding about what each other wants, and yeah.
And the reason why I'm so glad you brought that question. Like if he's not willing to grow and do something with his life, it's gonna be really hard for you to stay with him. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something that I want to share with all the guys out there that for most women, I don't say all women, but for most women, they want a guy that has a purpose. They want a guy that has stability. They want a guy that's building something. You know, most women are attracted to guys that are doing something with their life, you know, and that's why for a lot of guys out there, like, that's what I say, that's why it's important to focus on it before you can focus on, you know, try to focus on like, try to be nice or try to all these little things that what our women do. But just the first thing you should do, which I do believe is the most important thing, is stability, especially in today's reality. You know, in the world, we want a guy that can take care of you. Want a guy that can pay the bills. You want a guy that's going to give you security for yourself and for your family. And it doesn't matter how, let me be honest, it doesn't matter how nice you are as a guy. It doesn't matter, doesn't matter how nice you are as a guy, how kind of you as a guy. But if you're not building financial stability for yourself, you can be the kindest guy in the world. But if you're not doing anything with your life, how is the chance of you attracting women?
Yeah, not good at all.
All right, and that's one of the things I hear from a lot of, especially today's society, right? I do hear from in today's culture, oh, just be a nice guy and the way you're gonna get a girl. Nah, that's totally false.
Nice guys always end last.
Exactly, nice guys finish last. So that's something I want to advise. No, be a nice guy, you know, but put more focus on building your purpose. Put more focus on providing financial stability, because you can be a nice guy, but like I said, it's you'll find one out of 100 women is gonna give you a shot. But if you build a purpose, you build an empire, you build a career, a stability, out of those 100 women, you're gonna attract the majority of them.
That's more attractive in itself.
It's more attractive, exactly. So a lot of guys don't understand that. A lot of guys, I do hear, I mean, I'm nice, I'm kind, I go to church every Sunday, I pray, and they struggle, and they don't do anything with their life. They're not improving. They're not growing. They're not growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, right? They're just stagnant, and they don't know why. And I tell them no, because for women, one thing that's important for women to attract a male is they want a guy that's stable, that's gonna give them a security, and they want to know that their man is taking them somewhere.
I guess one thing I will say though on that, Will, is that I don't care if it's a male or female. You cannot do things for someone else. You cannot do it for the opposite sex.
Of course.
So one thing is like, it's okay to want to do that to be attractive for the opposite sex, but you actually have to want to do that for yourself. It's not even about the opposite sex. You actually need to, because it doesn't matter. Like, I'm gonna use me and my husband for example. It doesn't matter if I'm going to expand. I'm going to fucking expand regardless, right?
Yeah.
And it's got to be the same for him too. And what I mean by we're okay with whatever happens in this next chapter of our lives is that you can only meet that other person as much as you're going to meet yourself. And it's like, it's not that I'm growing all the way up here and he's fucking staying up here. It's like, no, well, if he's fucking happy there, cool. I want someone that can meet me where I am. And it's like, he doesn't need to do shit for me. He really doesn't. He needs to do it for himself. He needs to want that for himself. And I think it goes like way past the family, the wife, and having those things together. It's like, nah, are you happy? You know what I mean? Like that shit doesn't get asked enough. Like we've been together for 9 years, and it took an instance for us to realize, like, are we happy? Are we really fucking happy? Like, I love you, but are we happy here? Yeah. And okay, cool. So what do we like, I love you, I'm happy with you, but how can we make this work where I don't feel so small, where we don't feel so, and you don't feel so intimidated, or like, there's so many things, and it's like, we just have to do shit for ourselves, and the people that are going to be in our lives are going to meet us where we are.
Oh, great. Yeah.
You're a CEO, like, yeah.
No, I love what you said. Like, of course, like everybody out there, especially the guys, like, don't do it for anybody else. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. And like I said, by doing it yourself, improving yourself, you're gonna attract the right person in your life. But yeah, because like you said, if you're doing it for other people, then it's never enough. Because sometimes you're gonna meet people, no matter what you do in life, it's never enough for them. So that's why it's important to do it for yourself, because if you do it for yourself in a healthy way, you're gonna feel enough. And when you feel enough, you feel secure, you feel confident, you'll be able to go out there and talk to that person. But that's why I believe that stability is important for men. Because like I told you guys before, like I told you about the statistics, right? Like 80% of divorces in America are initiated by women, and the number one reason why is because of finances. So that's why for a lot of guys out there, I always encourage them, the first thing you should do before anything else is work on your purpose and build your life, and be the best man you can be, and build a career, do something with your life. Because like I said, the numbers are there. However you want to feel about it, if you're watching this, the stats are there. 80% of all divorces are initiated by women, and you guys are upset that we don't provide enough we don't bring it enough into the relationship, especially financially. And I do meet a lot of guys that their women or their girlfriend will support them, and then I always tell them, look, if your lady is supporting you, I'm telling you, it's just a matter of time. If you're not growing, and this is something I always see, that she's gonna leave you.
Yeah, she about to leave that.
I'm telling you, if you're a guy right now, if you're watching this, if you're with a woman right now, and you're not, and she's making more money than you, and she's not providing for you, she's paying most of the bills, but you guys are in love, you guys are all in the happy-go-lucky phase right now, I'm telling you, because of the data, because of the experience, eventually there will be a point of time where she's gonna leave you. And the reason why I bring that up, because it's opposite for us, right? Because for guys, it's perfectly okay for us to financially support a woman. We have no issues with that. Like if I meet a woman that I'm fully committed to long term, I don't really care about whether or not she has goals or whether she has a purpose or whether she wants to do anything. I'm very content that my wife can be at home and just take care of the children, and she doesn't have to pay for anything. I'll handle everything on my own. And I truly believe that there's a lot of guys that you have to understand that as men and women, we are different in how we attract, and we are different in how we see things, especially when it comes to financially because men are very content with providing for their women for the rest of their life. But one thing I do notice is most women are not content for providing for their man for the rest of their life. So that's one advice I would say for every man out there: build your empire, build your purpose, be the best man you can be stable. Don't be in a relationship with the woman is making or paying most of the bills, because the data is there, the divorce rate, and I guarantee you, eventually, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, like you said, they're gonna leave. But like I told you guys before, it just comes down to our nature, our biology, that men, our love language is protecting and providing. Like, we want to provide and protect. That's why we don't have an issue. We provide and protect for a woman, but for women, like, nurturing is caring is your love language. But so if you are doing the providing and protecting, naturally, inherently, you're gonna lose respect for your man, because that's his role. He's the one that's supposed to provide and protect. And if you're with a guy that doesn't provide and protect, you naturally over time you're gonna lose respect for him, because he's not doing what he's supposed to do in a relationship as a masculine man in a relationship. So that's my viewpoint on that. Jani, same question I want to ask you. What is it? Can you define what does that mean for you? What is going somewhere? What does that mean for you? Also, I want to ask you, does that stability and having a man that could be financially stable for you, how much does that matter to you when it comes to when finding a man?
Yeah, I really like this question, and it's interesting listening to you, because I know that you're for your own personal, I guess, goals and being in a relationship, it's really important for you that you are the main provider. And for me personally, like, my own personal choice, I like to be able to contribute financially to my relationships. I like to be able to know that, yes, my man can hold me. Yes, he can provide for me and he can provide us that stability. But I also like that he is able to receive as well financially from me, and happy to receive and happy to have me alongside him, and us both build the empire together.
Okay.
And I think that's something really important, because there's so much emphasis on the male always having to be the breadwinner, the male always having to do all of this. And it not only puts a lot of pressure on the male, but it also, for some people, it might make them feel like they can't contribute financially to the relationship. And so I think it's really important that for any males that are listening, it is okay. And I feel like it's not money. Money isn't the problem. It's the fact that people don't communicate about money that is the problem. Because
can you define? Can you explain that part with communicating that money? You said money, communicating that money isn't the problem. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Money. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's the fact that people think that their worth is determined by the amount of money that they can earn, or their worth is determined by the amount of money that someone else is willing to give them. But if you're thinking that your worth is only depicted by the amount that someone can give you, like, oh yeah, like, my man can buy me these Gucci bags, he's bought me all of these things, he takes me out, he buys me food. But is he vulnerable with you though? Does he talk the talk? Does he actually tell you how he's feeling? Does he sit down and say, actually, this isn't working and this is how I feel about our relationship? We have so much emphasis on the money, when there's so much more to a relationship than just the money. Yes, the money helps you to have a stable, secure relationship, but without communicating about what you want to do with the money, without communicating about where you're trying to go together as a partnership, then it's not going to work. And regardless of how much money the male or the female makes, if you're both communicating about it and you're both open and you're both on the same page about where you're going, regardless of who earns more than the other, then the relationship will still work. Like, that's what I honestly believe. It's got nothing to do with the amount and everything to do with the communication and the energy and the love that you're both willing to put in for one another.
Yeah, when I say building a purpose, building your life, and making money, I'm not saying he doesn't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be a millionaire, right?
No.
What I'm saying is you have to handle your responsibility as a man to provide for your family. And the reason
But
why
it doesn't mean that it has to be like everything, and that there has to be so much pressure on.
and that's where I push back, because in real life there are going to be bills. There are going to be things they have to take care of. So I do believe money is a priority, and having a stability is important in a relationship, because like I bring it up again, 80% of divorces are initiated by women because they didn't feel like their man was financially stable, right?
Yeah.
And I do want to ask you, because you did say that you want a guy that's communicative, that's vulnerable, right? I want to ask you, there's two guys. One is very financially stable. He has subpar communication skills, subpar emotional awareness and vulnerability. But one guy has great communication skills, great vulnerability, but subpar when it comes to his financial stability. Which one do you go with?
Oh, 100% go with the person that's more vulnerable and able and willing to communicate.
But you have to worry about where you're gonna worry about where you're gonna stay. You're gonna worry about the rent. You're gonna worry about
Lifestyle's a choice.
I think that's the thing, though.
Lifestyle's a choice.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, you guys, so you rather take the guy that you might not have a place to sleep tomorrow. You might not have
100%.
food to eat, but
Well,
are you guys being honest right now?
Honestly, to be honest,
100%.
lifestyle, especially here in New Zealand, a lot of the women here are the breadwinners. Like, we do not give a that's where it's different here in New Zealand. You'll see women that are in government, like, and we come from cultures where women, like, they hold the household, and it's okay. We don't have this negative outlook in terms of men not having the greatest finances and it being like broken. So, but also what I do want to say on that is that why we are so passionate about communication and vulnerability is because we've had the opposite. We've already had the fucking opposite. We've got guys here that do not fucking communicate, that aren't vulnerable, that don't know how they feel, and have all the fucking money, and they're assholes. And why would I want that? You know, it's like, fuck the money. My happiness comes first. And the thing is like, lifestyle's a choice, and money can always be made. But characteristic traits have to be like, we have to decondition a lot of shit, and that's a lot harder to do than to make a lot more money. But we can make money together, but I would definitely go for the fucking other guy. Please give me your love.
So I do want to ask you, so you're saying that majority of most women in New Zealand, especially Polynesian women, you're saying majority of them are breadwinners? Did they make more money? Majority? You know more than 50%? Like, do you know the averages or no? The percentage?
Nah, I don't. But the ones in my life have always really been the breadwinners, especially, you know, my close knit family, and we've all been fine. My dad was never the breadwinner in my family, and we've always been fine. Like, it wasn't an issue. It wasn't until my dad was like 45 that he found a career that he loved, and my mum was happy to like support that. And so I've grown up from a family. That's why I get a little bit triggered, because I'm like, dude, and it's okay. Like, it's so okay, but it's just like, it's not always a bad thing. It's like, yes, absolutely. And it's just like, you know what, it's okay to have like these outlooks, but there are also some times where it does work, and it's not always just like this one fucking thing that, but money.
I guess we need to move to New Zealand now. We need to move to New Zealand. Because in America, we have a 50% divorce rate. 80% of women are divorcing their men because of finances. And so the women out here are a little different. They need their money. But I do want to ask you, Jani. So, Jani, you said that you want to contribute to the finances, right? You want to contribute to the finances to make sure that you're contributing to the relationship. So for you, does it? Can you give me like a percentage? Like, is it 50-50, or are you content doing more than 50? Like, you the majority? What is it? What's a healthy balance for you as far as your partner to contribute financially? What's the healthy range for you?
I couldn't say that there's like a specific percentage.
I'm just saying,
it's just the feeling of knowing that I can contribute to the relationship, money wise.
Wait, so if you're the majority, if you're paying majority bills, more than 50%,
If I was paying the majority of the bills with someone that I know that I really love, who makes me happy, who feels, who is vulnerable, who communicates and does all the things, then 100%, like, it's not going to bother me at all. And if he does the same for me, then amazing, like, that's cool as well. So I can't
I
say
know.
that there's a percentage, because in the future, like for me being a business owner, my money's going to be up and down all the time. So whether I'm making 200K a year or 20K a year, my man will still be by my side regardless of how much money I'm making or not making. And the same for him. If he's making 20K a year or 200K a year, the fact that we have this beautiful relationship together, that he can be vulnerable, that he can communicate with me, that he knows exactly where he's going. I think it's important to remember that where we are right now is always only temporary, and everything that we're doing is constantly helping us to evolve to the better version of ourselves and to a more beautiful relationship. So
Okay.
regardless of how much money there is, if the love is there, the vulnerability is there, the communication, and everything else, it's all good.
Okay. All right. So I do want to ask you one question. Is so if you pay majority of the bills and the guy's like, I just want to rely on you. I don't want to improve. Shinarah has already made it clear that if he doesn't match her level, doesn't improve, she's out. But I want to ask you, if the guy was like, say you start paying majority of the bills, and then the guy was like, you know what, you're paying majority of the bills. Well, I love you, so can my love make up for the majority of the bills that I'm not paying? So would you be willing to support a man majority and pay majority of the bills for him for the rest of his life? Would you be able to do that?
Yeah, if he was still growing himself and
No,
learning.
he doesn't want to grow. He doesn't want to grow. He just wants. He's content.
No, hell no.
Okay.
We want to grow, hell no.
So this is why I asked that question, because all the guys out there, for us, for guys, because our love language is provided, protected. We are fine for providing for our women, regardless of what she does. Whether she wants to improve, great. You want to improve a build empire, help me build this empire, great. But if she doesn't want to build an empire, she just wants to chill, relax, that's fine. As long as I have my woman, have a wife, she doesn't have to do anything. And that's the difference between men and women. And I haven't heard a lot of guys, the woman would tell him, hey, I love you, appreciate you, I'll support you, I'll pay all the bills, don't worry, honey, I got your back. We win the ride or die together. We got this, and she's paying majority of the bills, and then 5 years later, she dips. So that's one thing I want to put that message out there. It's really, really important for guys to build your empire and work on it, be the best version of it. So you don't have to be a millionaire. I want to make sure clear. There's not a specific amount. Just make sure that you can handle your responsibility as a man on whoever woman you choose to be with. And that's one thing and if you do that, I'm telling you guys right now, you'll be able to attract more women, but not only attract a woman, you'll be able to be in a long-term relationship with women, because that's something I always hear from a lot of women is that when it comes to financial security, that's one of their highest priorities. And for a lot of guys out there, they don't realize that. There's a lot of guys out there I know that are nice, they're kind, but they're not doing anything with their life. They're lazy, they're not improving, they're not working on the career, but they think that being nice is going to take them far, and being nice is going to find not only a relationship, but also find a long-term relationship. So one thing I always advise for guys out there is, like I said, to be the best man version for yourself and figure out your purpose in life and build a career, build an empire. And then once you attract that woman, then you can start working on the communication skills. Then you can start working on the vulnerable. It's better to work on the communication skills inside a house when they're comfortable. It's hard. It's better to work on the things that you guys work on when you guys are stable. But it's really, really hard to work on those little things that you guys are nagging us about if it's unstable. Because when things are unstable financially, then that's when things really start to get worse. But if you guys have issues, because can we all agree every relationship have issues?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But is it easier to deal with your issues? Is it easier to deal with your issues being financially stable? Or is it easy to deal with those issues being broke?
To be honest, you know what? Financial stability is so different as well. Like, it's just, it's funny because just like the fucking topic is just so broad, and expectations are so freaking broad as well. And it's like understanding, like it's so funny because I'm like, that's cool, but like I've been okay living with my husband at his parents, and I've been okay having our own house, and it's like you will do whatever you need to do for the person that you love.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fucking matter whether I understand where you're coming from. I just think that there are still a lot of men who have the fucking houses, the cars, the money, and still don't know what the fuck they're doing because they spend all their time getting the things and not working on themselves. What, like, it's easy to get perishable things. It's easy. Like, if you want something enough, you're going to go get it. If you want to be a millionaire, you can absolutely go and fucking be a millionaire. But like, to work on yourself, to that's harder. It's harder to say what the fuck you want in a relationship. It's actually way harder. Like to go and work for someone, time for money. Cool. There's nothing like you're just going to work time for money, get that money. But in terms of like opening up to people, saying how you feel, being vulnerable in terms of rejection again, after all the rejection through growing up and shit, that's hard. Like that should be worked on before the things.
I know.
Because how do you know yourself in that house?
Okay. No, I totally understand that, but it's just the thing is like the in America the data doesn't showcase. Like the data shows that no matter how no matter how emotional you are, how communicative you are, if you don't make money, that women are leaving you here in America. That's what I'm saying. So that's the only thing I'm just gonna like. For me, like I understand that everybody's experience, but the thing is like in America, regardless of if you have good communication skills, the woman will leave you if you don't provide financial stability, and the numbers show it. Anybody want to?
Definitely balance the way. Like you can absolutely make money while working on yourself. Like there's no percentage of what's right and wrong. It's just like the best version of yourself is going to be the best version of yourself, and no one can say shit about it.
Yeah, and like I said, I just want to make it clear. It's not even about, like I said, being a millionaire. I'm just saying is you just got to take care of your family. That's all it is. Just take care of your family. Just it's not about being a millionaire, being making 100K or 200K. No, it's just as long as you take care of your family, put a roof over their head, make sure they have food on the table, taking care of your kids, provide that stability, then the relationship will build. But it's really hard to build a relationship. It's really hard because there will always be ups and downs. But if you guys are constantly worrying about finances, which is I do see a lot, it just adds a lot more stress to relationship if you're not financially stable. All right. Yeah. Alfred, do you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I think we'll go back to like something you said earlier, like if I would rather somebody who has a lot of money but subpar communication, or somebody with
no, not a lot of money. I'm just saying one guy is financially stable. Like he's stable. You don't have to worry about where you eat. You don't have to worry about where you sleep. Yeah. But his communication and the vulnerability is like subpar. But the other guy, he has a great communication skills and great emotional intelligence to communicate with you. But you have to worry about where you're going to sleep and what you're going to eat.
I mean, for me, like, I mean, if I would rather that, I'd rather somebody with, great communication skills and is vulnerable, because if you don't know where you're going to sleep, you can still sleep with me. Like, because I know I'm going to have a place to sleep. You know what I mean? I got me, and I'm going to have us until you can get something. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm going to carry us. I'm going to carry us until we can get you.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry you. You know what I mean? I'm going to carry us. But, I mean, I need to carry you knowing that you are making those strides so that you can, you know what I mean, get back on your feet. Because if I start carrying you and you get comfortable, I'm about to drop your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to pick it up, come on, get in the game. But if you don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's that I just need you to be part of I need you to eat at the same table I'm eating. Like, if this is going to work, because when you fall, I got you. Don't stay down there.
Yeah. But if he stays down there, then he's gone.
Stay down there. Yeah.
All right. So like I said that, but I'm glad you guys answered that question. But that was my question, because I do believe, like I said, maybe like I said, thank you for sharing your experiences. But in America, like I said, like I do, when I talk to a lot of girls, like that's the first thing that they care about is stability.
I mean,
like some girls won't even look your way. Some girls won't even look your way if you don't have that stability. And that's just something I see, especially depending on where you're sitting in LA. When you go to LA, I'm here in Los Angeles. Like, some of these ladies are like, if you don't even look your way if you don't have stability. So what I want to give everybody is, because like I said, it depends on the woman you want. But if you want to attract the woman you want, doesn't matter who she is or wherever she is. I just believe that the best thing you do as a man is work on your purpose and build and make sure that you're financially stable and you take care of your business. If you handle that, then of course you can build off that and work on all the other things. But I think the foundation is stability and being financially stable. So
You gotta be real. You gotta be real.
yeah, you gotta handle your business as a man. That's one thing I see. A lot of guys are not handling the business. They're lazy, and they wonder why they're not attracting a lot of women they want because they're not improving their life financially. All right.
I feel like dudes are a lot of dudes cap a lot. You know what I mean? They're just very They just talk a big game and they don't walk the talk.
They post their cash on IG.
Yeah, right.
That's how you know they're broke. When people start posting money, I was like, he's not posting money. I know that's all your. There's no bank account. That's all your money.
All cap.
All right, yeah. So cool. That was a good question, guys. But yeah, so I'll flip it to you guys. So that was my question. I want you guys, ladies, I open the floor to you guys. What is your question?
I'll go. What is something? So if you've got experience, I would love it. Otherwise, I will take whatever you can give. But why is it that sometimes males, despite loving the other spouse, still stem to want affection elsewhere? You guys still want that attention, that affection from other women. And it's like, well, what are you looking for? But yeah, I would love that. I actually, I have a really good insight into this, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Alfred, what do you think, Alfred?
Okay, so literally, I had a phone call that came through, and I heard like this much of the question. I'm sorry. Can you restate it one more time? Because I feel like I got an answer for you.
Yeah. So if you're in a loving relationship, right? You love this person. What would be the reason that you would still seek attention and affection elsewhere? So you may not be looking for like anything permanent or physical, but emotionally, you're looking for that validation, right? That I guess, like people, like spouses going on dating sites and chatting up other women, or just even guys in relationships and on IG. I get a lot of this actually, where guys are in relationships and they're still hitting me up. Why is it? You can be in a loving relationship, you love your woman, your kids, or whatever, but you're still seeking the attention and affection of other people. So I'd love to hear your guys' perspectives on this. I have a really beautiful perspective of my own, but yeah, I'm open to hearing what you guys have to say.
I mean, if you got to go searching for it somewhere else, you weren't getting it in the first place, So I think if you were literally like, if you're seeking attention from other people, like if somebody's laughing at your jokes and you notice that they're laughing at your jokes a lot, so you start joking more with them, and then you just end up talking chit chat, it's because your main person wasn't laughing at your jokes. Your main person wasn't, you know what I mean? Like showing you that attention in that certain aspect of your relationship. Like he could be showing you out and like, posting you on social media and like claiming you in front of other people, and like that makes you feel safe. But if you're just, there's like one little thing, you know what I mean? If that one little thing, if this guy over here is just laughing at your jokes and it makes you feel good, you're gonna keep going towards that. You know what I mean? Because every relationship isn't perfect, and so I think it's just that little thing, you know what I mean? And so maybe some guys, I don't know, maybe some guys are just, they just are, I don't know how to explain it. They're just more open to like doing that, you know what I mean? And I was in kind of in a situation like this too. Like I was in a relationship, and me and my boyfriend at the time, we were kind of rocky a little bit. I wasn't really meeting his emotional needs, and so we had a mutual friend who was straight.
Oh wait, you're doing a flashback story?
Yeah, we're just talking relating story. You know what I mean? To this. Don't play that word. It wasn't like that.
All right, go ahead.
But Nah, it was so like we were kind of rocky. We weren't really, you know what I mean? Like we were still like working things out or whatever. We had a mutual friend that he confided in emotionally, and he would spew out emotionally to this guy. And even though this guy was quote unquote straight, it kind of made me feel some type of way. I mean, like I'm supposed to, like we're dating, me and you are in this relationship. Why are you spewing out your emotional needs to this person over here? Because at the time, I'm not really in tune with my emotions. I don't really know how to express them all that well. And then my ex was he was very in tune with his emotions. You know what I mean? He knew how to, figure out his emotions, but I didn't know how. So I guess I would come off a little cold. And I learned from that situation, but at the time I didn't know. So I felt like he started looking for that elsewhere, even though like we were together. You know what I mean? I don't think he meant to take it as far as he did. But I think once you get an outlet like that, you kind of just pour into it,
All right, for sure, for sure. I have my thoughts on this. There's three things I do want to talk about. So, number one, I truly believe in today's dating culture, relationships have become a trend now. There's a lot of people in relationships now that are not supposed to be in relationships. They're just in a relationship because that's what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
So that's today's American culture, where I know people are not, they don't want to be in a relationship, but because they don't want to be seen as single, because they're afraid of people are going to say, so they just get in a relationship just because. But they're not ready for
like another tangible thing to have.
Yeah, so like it's just because they don't want to be seen as single, they don't want to be seen as like being alone. So now relationships are a trend. Oh, all my friends are in relationships. All right, let me just jump into a relationship just cause, so that way I'm seen in a relationship. But they're not really ready for relationships, so that's why they still cheat. Another one is like I think what Alfred said is usually when people cheat, especially for men, if we're not getting something from the relationship from that person, then we'll go look for it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's just I think that works for both men and women. That's why I love what you guys said. Communication is key. Make sure you're always communicating to your partner to know what your wants are, what your needs are. So that way, if there is something that you may lack, then they can fulfill it, they can improve in that area. But a lot of people today, their communication skills is whack. Nobody's communicating no more because social media. This is how we communicate through text messages. Nobody doesn't know how to communicate verbally no more and speak how they really feel and having those honest, intimate conversations. And of course, a lot of people I do meet a lot today. They think relationships are supposed to be perfect. So when the first time they hit a rock, when first time they hit some adversity, first time they hit challenges, nobody knows how to deal with that.
Yeah, and they drop it.
And either they drop it or they just go find it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Because people nowadays don't know how to deal with challenges because everybody sees social media. Oh, everybody's relationship is perfect. So as soon as their relationship is not imperfect, people don't know how to respond, but they don't realize that's part of the process. Like you're supposed to go through challenges. That's another one. And another thing, I feel like today people are not growing within the relationship. Just because you're in a relationship, just because she's your girlfriend or boyfriend doesn't mean you stop working or stop growing. A lot of people I feel like become lazy. Okay, I got her. She's mine now. She's my boyfriend. She's my girlfriend now. I'm good. And you no longer grow together. I do believe that a relationship is like a house. As a house, you have to constantly build and repair. You constantly build and repair. You build the foundation, right? Stability, communication, values, God, all those things that have those core values that you guys value. But once you have those, then you have to build on top of that. But people are no longer building them. When people get lazy, right? Not only mentally, spiritually, but also physically. I do believe that you have to take care of yourself. I can't just go in a relationship and gain 300 pounds. Polys, I'm talking to a lot of polys out there. Right? Like you said, you have to take care of yourself, make yourself attractive to each other. That's how you build that fire, And if you listen to all of dating coaches, that's one of the biggest things they always say. They always say if you want to build that fire and make that passion alive, what do you do? In order to keep a fire alive, what do? You have to feed the what?
The flame.
The flame. You can't it's eventually gonna run out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Some of you guys just light the flame and then that's it.
And it's fire, right? Yeah.
There's fire. All right. But just like a fire, you have to constantly feed it. And just a relationship, you constantly have to feed it, constantly build it. If you just let it, if you get lazy, get complacent, it's gonna die out. And then once you die out, then of course you don't feel that spark no more, then you're gonna find it within somebody else. So that's just the thing I notice about for a lot of people. People are lazy, people are not growing. in a relationship. People are not ready. People are just following the trends nowadays for a relationship. And totally forgot what I said before. There was something I missed out. But what did I say? Oh, I can't remember. It was it was
your fire.
the fire growth. Make sure you don't get complacent. Don't get lazy. And shoot, I totally just forgot what I said. I don't know if you guys remember what I said. It was 3 things I said. I said I don't know. Do you guys remember the 3 things I said? I said
The fire,
the fire. So grow.
communication,
Communication.
and laziness for like trends.
Yeah. Don't make sure that don't follow the trend. If you're like if you're ready, don't go into a relationship if you're not ready. Right? And don't just go into a relationship just because you want to be in a relationship because everybody else is doing it. Like if you know you're not ready for a relationship, if you know you're still gonna go out there and live your best life and sleep around, then be single. Be single, right?
Yeah.
And then once ready for commitment, and then go into it. But yeah, that's my piece on it. That's my piece.
I love that. One thing I will say on like in terms of seeking emotional attachment outside of your relationship, sometimes there is a lot of trauma that's happened previously, and it's never it's sometimes not even about your relationship. Sometimes it's not even about the other person. Sometimes it actually has to do about you.
You're not ready. You're not ready.
It's not even that you don't love this person, because I know a lot of people have these issues where they absolutely love their spouse, but they cannot stop themselves from reaching out for affection to other females or males. And it's like they can't understand like why the fuck they keep doing it. And it's like it's not even about your relationship. It's got nothing to do with the other person. Like what's happened in your previous life, like where have you experienced rejection, and like is there any fear coming up in terms of like, you know, maybe your relationship might end, or there's so many things that happened in the mind that we really don't speak about, and we're so busy talking about the action. We're so busy caught up talking about like, oh, you know, like I keep doing this thing, or you keep fucking around, or whatever it is. But like, there's actually so much that's happening, internally that we haven't addressed. So you can stop doing all that shit, but if you don't address like the rejection or the trauma, it's going to continuously repeat because you haven't fixed the actual thing. Jani has a really good insight into this as well. Like, so like one thing that's the only reason I asked is because I think we all have at some point experienced these things, but yes, communication is actually really, really important. If we're not getting the thing from our spouse, have you even fucking communicated it?
Yeah, have you asked?
Have you allowed them to meet you there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what a prick. Like, are you really just going to blame them but not give them the opportunity to like meet you where you need them, right? And that's really important. So yes, communication is important, but another thing is like, why are you even fucking doing it? If the communication is there and you're still going to do it, something else needs to change, and it's not the person. Yeah,
there are a lot of people out there that have issues, like you said. And you definitely got to focus on that. And also, for one thing I do notice for a lot of people, they don't take the time to heal before they go into the next relationship.
That's so it.
People be just jumping to the next bandwagon. People would just be jumping to relationship and never take the time to heal. So they still carry all the hurt and that energy, the negative energy from all those outer relationships, and they carry that on to the next relationship, put that stress on the other person. That's something. If you have issues and things that you're going on with, you definitely need to take the time to take care of yourself, because it does put a lot of stress on a partner when they know it's nothing, like they have somebody they really, really love, but there's nothing they can do to help you because that's something that's internal. And then if you're not dealing with it, then it's kind of unfair to your partner, because they want to be with you, but you're not putting the time to heal those things or deal with those traumatic experiences, because they can't do that for you. You know, somebody else cannot fix you. You have to fix yourself. So that's one of the things that I do see for a lot of men and women, that we finally meet somebody we love. you care about, but they have some issues, and you really love them, but they don't take the time and they don't work on those issues, and it just puts a lot of stress on the relationship, and sometimes becomes toxic. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, Shinarah. All right,
Yeah.
for sure.
You said
Jani,
you had-
oh, go ahead.
I'll say Shinarah. Shinarah said you had like an insight. Was that your insight? Like, I felt like you had like an example.
I told it to me or
Shinarah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
So
question?
yeah. So yeah, my example is
oh,
like
hold
with
on. Example. All right, go ahead.
yeah. So actually that's what's been the separation for me and my husband is exactly that. It's not the first time either where he's felt the need to seek that affection elsewhere. It's not been physical, but absolutely it could have been physical, right? And it's not the first time either. So because it's not the first time, and we're 9 years in, we've got kids, it's like, okay, cool. So like, first of all, communication wasn't there. And second of all, it's like, okay, cool. Like, we actually ended up, he was able to communicate and be vulnerable. And yeah, we addressed things that actually had happened in the past. And it's like, okay, cool. So there's some personal growth that really does need to happen. And that's what I mean by expansion and elevation. It doesn't actually need to be financial. I really don't care if he is really happy at his job and I start making hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not going to elevate my soul. He elevates my soul, but he needs to work on himself to meet me where I deserve, which is that communication, that commitment, and that loyalty, because that's a basic, right? And then like, yeah, but like, I'm in terms of like that, I'm super in love with this man enough to meet him when he's ready.
Okay.
So yeah, like I guess when it comes to relationships, a lot of people would have split, but like, I'm super old school too. Like, I would rather work on it. Also, I'm fucking lazy. Like, dating, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna slate I
Hell to the no.
Hell to the no.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't. Do you guys like? If Jani talks on this, like how people just hit us up on like social media, what am I supposed to fucking do with your comments? Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Yes.
Maybe they're just being nice.
Makes me feel so
maybe they're just being nice. And I give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just being nice.
No, I can't do it. Just like a nice thing would have been like, I really loved what you said, or I really loved this about your post. Fucking
dig deeper, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm so sick of the surface level shit. Like, don't come at me with that. I can't fuck with you.
Dang. Why there's a guy that's all like that's the capacity of his mental capability. That's all he had. He gave you all he had. He gave you all he had.
Guys are just dogs. You know what I mean? Guys are just
they're good.
Dogs,
they're good guys out there. Sometimes we just don't know how to communicate it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm just gonna give that guy a bit of a all right.
I feel like the guys that really make an impression are dudes that are like funny, or dudes that are like, they have some substance to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, comment on like what Shinarah was saying, on what you're saying, rather than ooh, like you're so bomb, or like, you know what I mean? And like talk about the physical stuff on it. I have a lot of my female cousins always talk about how these dudes are in their DMs talking about like, how beautiful they are. But I'm like, and they clown on these dudes. All these dudes need to know, if you're gonna spit some game at some girl on social media, come with some heat, not with the ooh, I'm gonna take care of you someday type of bullshit. Like,
yeah.
What I mean? I don't know. I feel like these dudes out here, some of them be lame.
Yeah, this is one thing I would say for all the guys out there. I'm telling you, like, don't get fooled by the beauty. Like you can meet a very attractive person physically, but if there's no there's no character in there, they don't have values, I'm telling you, that's only gonna go for so long. So I know a lot of guys out there, they think that, they find that one, trophy wife and everything's gonna be set. But yeah, I mean, after I'm telling you like that out, like beautiful men, I mean, it goes both ways, guys and girls. Like once the physical is nice, but then after it, then what's gonna carry a relationship is gonna be the emotional and the mental, right? So don't put a lot of focus. If you happen to meet somebody that got all three, oh great, hey, oh great. But do focus a lot more with the mental and emotional part of an individual and their character, their values, who they are, what they do. But do want to ask Jani. I know Jani. I know you have a question. Jani, what's your question? Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I did have a question. It was, what is the hardest thing for males about communicating vulnerably to their woman?
Go ahead, Alfred.
I think what's hard about being vulnerable is coming off as weak, is coming off as somebody that cannot provide. And if I'm vulnerable, I now come across as, lack of a better term, a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to seem like a bitch. So I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of just mask it and try to be as like macho as you can. But I don't know. I've realized that that's not the way to go. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of like me. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I was I guess my emotions, I don't know how to to talk them through. I don't know how to explain my emotions. It comes off like, bleh, you know what I mean? But I can't understand them mentally. And I feel like when I try to talk to them, I can't get my point across or whatever. And so I just kind of don't deal with it. You know what I mean? And I don't really, I kind of just move on to the next logical thing rather than actually opening up. And I think that's like a really big reason why a lot of guys are just put off into sharing that about themselves. Cause like, we want you to see us, but I don't want you to see me. You know what I mean? I want you to see that I'm a winner. I don't want you to see me as a loser.
Hey, Jani, I do want to ask you, when you say vulnerable, what does that mean? Like, what does that entail? What does that mean?
I mean, exactly like what Alfred just said about being seen, about actually being seen for all the things. Like, so many guys don't want to talk about who they really are. They don't want to talk about how they actually feel. Yet they're trying to expect this relationship to be so big and beautiful, but they're not willing to contribute to the relationship on an emotional level. And, wanting their woman to give them that level of emotional vulnerability, that level of spiritual vulnerability, mental vulnerability, sexual, physical, all of those things. It's not always reciprocated. And so my question was like, why?
I have some thoughts on this. Let me just hold up. I have some notes. I got my notes here. I knew this question was coming up, so you know what I'm saying?
To get some comments in the Facebook as well, like from any of the men that are watching. Like, it'll be really cool to have some of you guys drop in what you think it is that makes it so good out.
All right. So okay, there we go. I got my notes ready. Ready for this?
How it is.
No, it's not. Nothing. It's not. No, there's a couple of things. Number one, you have to also. I know in the beginning of our podcast, I did mention about biology, right? Of men and women, that we are different and we have different inherent traits. So, as men, we're more masculine because women are more feminine. So for women, you guys are more inward. You guys are focused on your emotions, but for men, we're more because we're masculine and how we are. We're more. We don't express from the inside. We're just more on the outside. We focus more on the outside and things. And also number two, you gotta also think about society and the social constructs that we grow up in. In society and the culture we grow up in, what do they say? What Alfred said: if you express your emotions, then you are what? Weak. So this is something that we hear from ever since we were born as men. That if you are emotional, if you are vulnerable, if you are not stable mentally, then you are seen as a weak man. And unfortunately, there's a lot of women out there that if they do see that within a man, that's something that's unattractive to them. And that's the reality. I've seen a lot of women say that, oh, that guy's too emotional. I can't fuck with that guy. That guy is too weak. That guy is too unstable. And I've seen it. This is coming from women as well.
Mhm.
So you just got to take that in consideration. And like I said, especially in the Polynesian culture, we don't have open conversations with our parents. I don't know if you guys grew up with your parents, but when have we ever had an open relationship and open communication with our parents? I never had that growing up.
That's tough. Sometimes it's a little
So
cringy.
yeah, exactly. So like, if we didn't even have that with our own parents, how can we have that with you? with you? So
But also, I think, you keep going back to the caveman age thing.
yeah,
I think it's really important as well to remember that we're still evolving right now, and we're definitely in a transition time.
yeah,
Where this is the time for all of our men right now. This is the perfect time for men to start opening up and to start transitioning into a new phase where the men do get vulnerable, where the men do talk about emotions. Like, it's all good and everything to talk about, my parents didn't give me this, my parents didn't do that, and those were the seeds that were planted for you. Those were the seeds that were planted for you and your beliefs, but it doesn't mean that it can't be changed. And I think the more that we keep staying stuck on this belief that this is what my parents taught me and this is how it should be, it's just going to keep continuing. And I feel like we keep using it as an excuse, especially in the Polynesian community. But I know 100% for sure that there are so many beautiful men out there right now that are doing differently, that are showing up vulnerably, that are willing to talk about all of these things, because they know that they are the creators of the next generation. And if they start making these changes now, their children are going to learn from them and their children after that. So as much as we keep saying, this is what my parents taught me, I think there's so much responsibility on us right now as a beautiful, massive generation. We've got social media, we've got all of these beautiful things, podcasts to help us to actually start making those changes instead of using it as an excuse. Like, use it as the reason, the driving force as to why we should start opening up and why we should start having all of these conversations. And that's how I feel about it.
The one thing I would say, and I will kind of push back on what you said, because like I mentioned before, I do believe that in any healthy family, there has to be a balance, right? Feminine and masculine, right? I feel like that's why it's good for them. That's why men are more, we're more on the outside. You guys are more focused on the inside. And I feel like in a healthy relationship, one has to balance out another. Like, both parents can't be too emotional. I feel like the man has to be the rock. He has to be the solid foundation, and then the woman has to be the one. I'm not saying he has zero intimacy. But I'm just saying is, for most men, for most guys, there's only very few selective guys out there that are gonna actually have the skills to communicate effectively to you. For most guys you're gonna meet, the general population, most of the guys don't have that skill. But I do believe just because they don't have that skill doesn't mean it's unhealthy. It's because I believe in the biology that in a relationship that the guy has to be that rock, that regardless of what happens, the family's up and downs, struggles, he's always going to keep that rock and keep that struggle in himself. Because if a guy is, if I grew up I remember with my dad, he was very, like, I barely saw his emotions. And then that kind of helped me as a man, that when I go through life, when I face struggles, I didn't get emotionally, I didn't respond emotionally to a lot of the challenges I went through in life. I saw my dad as a rock. I became that rock within my own life because I saw that in my family. I do believe that if my dad told me that emotional aspect of it, then I would be emotional every single time something bad happened in my life. But that's where my mom came in. So my dad gave me that rock, that masculine energy, but then my mom was there for me, gave me that feminine love and energy, but I needed that balance. And I feel like if two parents are both emotional, too vulnerable, I feel like it's not good. But also, and I just want to add something out there that there was a study that was done here in America, and they asked a lot of women what they really wanted. They asked, would you want a guy that's caring, that's kind, that's emotional, that's intimacy, or would you want a guy that's actually, let me give you guys this test real quick. I want to ask you. So I'm gonna give you guys two guys. I want you guys to pick. I want you guys to be honest. Be honest with this. I'm gonna have two guys, and you can only select these two guys, and these are the guys that you gotta marry hypothetically for the rest of your life. All right. Okay, one guy. Okay, so and of course you have to tie it to real life. You have to tie it to real life. This is the guy that he is gonna support you. This is the guy that's gonna be financially gonna be the man to support you and pay for you. But these are like this gonna be straight. So don't just give us the fantasy the fantasy answer. Give us the real life answer. All right, just tie it to real life. All right.
Are you giving us a start question though? Because I feel like the questions that are coming through are like it's not a temporary thing, and a lot of things is like everything's so temporary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna give you. Yeah.
Say, someone's financial situation is gonna stay stuck for the rest of my life, because fuck that. Like
no.
Like no one's gonna keep me confined for nothing. Like I'd rather stay single, bitch. Like
no. I'm just saying.
I'd rather stay single. If someone's gonna say the same for the rest of my motherfucking life, because I'm not even gonna say the same for my fucking life. No, like
no. So I'm gonna give you guys two guys, right? And these are the traits they have, and I want you guys to give me these are the two guys. Say you're this is the only two guys left in this world, win the world, and you have to pick these two guys. And this is and you're gonna do the left of these guys, right? All right,
the two guys, it's gonna be one's got a big one and one's got a small one. Don't give me nothing else. I'm taking the big one.
All right, both
you don't gotta talk.
Both
give me the big or the small one. Which one?
Both
are
the same. Both are the same.
After that, it doesn't matter. There's only two left.
Okay, both are the same. I'm gonna give, but for the sake of the test, I'm gonna give you guys two guys, and then let me know which one you're gonna pick, and be honest with this. Be honest. All right. First guy, this is guy number one. Unconditional love, understanding, nurturing, tenderness, kindness. All right, that's guy number one. Guy number two, confidence, inner strength, responsibility, focus, logical. Which one do you pick?
I'm gonna let you guys go first. Go ahead, lady.
Huh?
I like second.
All right.
But like my thing is like why do they like the other?
Okay, go ahead. Jani, one or two?
One.
Okay. Alfred?
I'm gonna pick two.
All right. So the reason why I gave you that, there was a study that was done. They asked this question to like thousands of women, and do you know which majority of these women, which one did they pick?
Number one.
Two.
Number two.
Yeah, because you fucking explained a woman in number one.
Huh? but what is being vulnerable? What is that? What kind of trait is that? Right? That's
feminine.
A feminine
I see
trait.
what you said. It painted a different picture.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is I do understand you guys want your men feminine, but the thing is, as much as you want the man to be emotional, but when it comes to the overall picture of being attracted and the type of man you want, most women will select the confident, strong man over the vulnerability, and then the guy that's more vulnerable. Because I do believe that if you're too emotional,
that's why they were getting divorced.
If you're too emotional, if you're too emotional with a woman, she's gonna lose that respect, because somebody needs to be the rock, somebody needs to be that foundation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Will. But the thing is like what we're saying is vulnerability when it matters. Don't have to fucking cry a river. Like the thing is with divorces that are happening now is because the men weren't vulnerable enough to speak when they needed to. When they fucking needed to. It's not about like cry me a river, oh my god, my feet hurt, oh my god, like fuck yes, absolutely, that would piss me off. No, it's like, take again my husband, he didn't communicate his needs when he needed to. He didn't want to show that vulnerability, but he should have, because we could have fixed this ages ago. That's where it's toxic, and that's where it becomes immature masculine energy. There is a thing with having a higher masculine energy and a very immature one, and the immature one does not know when to communicate their needs, their wants, what they need in a relationship, right? That's vulnerability, because now you need to now communicate with your feminine, with your spouse, what you need. And sometimes men are so scared of rejection that they're not going to do it. So they'll just go and fucking look for it elsewhere. And that's where it's not all good. And one thing I will say is in New Zealand, we have one of the highest rates for suicide, especially with our young males, because they do not know how to feel safe with their feelings. And that shit, like, we need to speak about it, especially our poly community. Our males don't want to speak about their feelings because we're so freaking like, you need to be hard, you need to be the man, you need to be freaking like masculine. When we're crying as kids, we're told to suck it up. That's so fucking toxic, because you get to an adult state and you're like, you don't even know how to handle your feelings. You don't even know how to express your love. And that's not all good. Yes, be masculine. We love that. That's fucking amazing. I love a masculine man. I'm not saying my man's not masculine. I fucking am so attracted to masculine men. What I'm saying is that when you need to communicate what the fuck you need and want in your relationship, you need to do it. Yeah, don't hide it because you feel weak. Like, we should have the safe space between us. Like, why can we not have that thing happen? And it's like, we all have masculine and feminine energy. It's allowing us to be balanced out at the times when we need to do that. It's like, you're not always masculine. You absolutely cry too. And I'm not always feminine. I can hold my shit myself. I can make my own money. I can build my own empire. But I actually want you there. I want you to hold me. I want you to make me feel good. I want you to tell me I'm beautiful. Like, it's such a beautiful balance when we just understand when the masculine energy needs to come out in a feminine, or when feminine energy needs to come out in a male. And it's like, it's not that you're weak. You just, you get to have that safe space with people to speak your feelings, especially especially in New Zealand with our males, our poly males. Like, we have such a high suicide rate with our Polynesian and Māori males here, because they just don't know how to deal with their feelings. And if we're telling them to suck it up, that's not going to work.
Yeah. Jani, do you have something to say?
No, everything that Shinarah said is so true, especially on just needing, the balance. It's all about balance. We all have feminine and masculine energies, and males don't believe that. They're like, fuck off. Like, if I'm feminine, then no one's going to like me. But everyone has both energies, and it's just about accepting it and acknowledging it and understanding that they both work together. You don't have to be masculine all the time. Your woman doesn't want you to be the manly man all the time, because she still needs that softness. She still needs you to listen. She wants you to cry when you need to cry, and you holding it in isn't going to help you. And that's what we're so stuck on believing. We're stuck on believing I have to be the man all the time. I have to be tough all the time. And the moment that I let down those walls, my woman's going to walk away. But how? No, she's not going to walk away. She's going to be so grateful that you were willing to allow yourself to be seen by her, and for you to both share that space together. So everything that Shinarah said was on point. We really just need to remember that the balance needs to be there all the time, and it's always fluctuating. It's always going up and down. But your woman wants to be able to hold you too, just the way that you hold her. It works together. Like, we have to reciprocate everything and not just expect to be giving, and then not also receiving that emotional support as well. So yeah, everything works together.
I think it's a weird energy to feel when you first accept it. And I feel like that's why a lot of guys don't do that, because when a lot of guys show that, side of them, like for me personally, when I started showing myself emotionally, I felt awkward. I felt weird. It was weird. But after you get through that initial hump, then, you know what I mean? Like, it becomes like a regular thing, right? It becomes normal. But I think it's just getting through that first hump, the first time you let it through, it's so tough. It's tough to stomach that. It's really tough to stomach. And it's like swallowing your pride, and especially with a lot of polys, like polys are super prideful. And I think it's like, you got to swallow your pride. You got to take one for the team and let it out. You know what I mean? And then after you feel seen, like I was saying earlier, I feel like it's like being seen naked for the first time, and you're just like awkward. You know what I mean? But then after, it gets better. It gets better. You just got to go through it. Something that's like a roller coaster ride, like, whew, you got to go through it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just I know you guys want that guy to be vulnerable, but it's just something. The one thing I would say is it's easy because only guys know what that means when you become emotional. Even for me, when I do try to be vulnerable, there's something within me that doesn't feel right, and it has nothing to do with insecurity. It's just like we talked about before. It's like we just have this inherent nature as a masculine man that we have to be strong, and it has nothing. It's just I can't explain to you guys. This is how men feel.
Yeah, it's like a feeling in your.
Like we have this feeling that we want to be strong, and this is how we're like. It's inherent. It's innate in us. So it's not like we don't want to be vulnerable to you. It's just there's this feeling within us that that it doesn't feel right. Even if I do open up, I feel like there's a part of my manhood, and it has nothing to do with you. It's just something that men know. If you're a man, you know this. That there's this feeling that if we're too vulnerable, there's something that's missing, or there's like the strength that within us that we lose, and that's why we don't prefer to open up to you. And that's why I come down to like it's our biology. It's just how we are as men. Of course, can we work on it? Yes, of course, we have to build on top of that. We have to put in a lot of work. But all I'm saying is just it's easier said than done. I had to put in a lot of work. I had to put in a lot of work for me to be vulnerable and for me to open up. Like I'm talking about like reading books. I'm talking about going to seminars. I had to put in a lot of work and to be vulnerable. And I know for a fact that there's only a small percentage of men like me or like Alfred that are actually willing to put in the work to go against their own masculine nature.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm bringing this up because the reality is most of the men you're gonna meet are gonna have this, are gonna be like this.
Exactly.
And for me,
that's what we change.
Yeah.
Especially for our young. And you know what? It's not even about your masculine, that you feel like you're going about your masculine energy. If you were brought up in an environment where you were taught to feel, to express, then this wouldn't be alien to you. But because we're not growing up in those spaces. So because it feels, yes, absolutely, for a lot of males, it does, because they haven't grown up feeling safe doing that. We've all been repeating cycles, right? We've all been repeating cycles, generational cycles. So how do you cut that? You be the change.
Yeah. The one thing I would say is like even the amount of work I've done on myself to improve that, I still feel uncomfortable. So I feel and this is my perspective on. I feel like it's just an inherent nature for guys that this is how we're gonna be, and I feel like that's not gonna change. Of course, we have to improve it because I do understand that for a lot of you guys want us to communicate. I do believe in communication. So, but asking a guy to be totally vulnerable to you, I'm telling you, like there's a difference between vulnerability and communication. Like you just want the guy to communicate, right? To communicate with you, how he's feeling, if there's struggles or something, what do you need, so you guys can feel that communication, right? So communication is something that we can improve as men for all the men out there. But if you ask guys to be vulnerable, to go against their masculine nature, I just don't, because for me, I'm still, even with all the skills I learned to be vulnerable and to communicate, I still feel that something, like when I do it, I'm going against my own nature. And that has nothing to do, I've already moved on the social constructs of my upbringing. I already let that go. I've moved past behind that. I just feel like that like being a man and being masculine is we're just built to keep it in, and we're built to be that rock. But we have to communicate. You're important. You're right. We have to communicate to you, and that's what a healthy relationship is. I just feel like for most of the men out there, that just because I just don't want the guys that are like this to feel like, okay, if I'm not vulnerable, then she's not gonna love me. I just don't want guys to feel like they go against their own nature. Yeah.
What do you actually, I think we're speaking vulnerability, two different things, because what do you think we're asking you when we're saying that we need that vulnerability? Because I don't understand what you're saying. I know
what I'm saying.
It's a complete different language, but I think you've got what we're saying a little bit wrong. We're not asking you to speak about your feelings when you don't feel like it. That's not what we're saying. It's like we're asking you to be vulnerable when you need to.
Mm.
But
When
it's what
it's not when I say need to, it's like when you're feeling like I may be not bringing what I need to the table, are you comfortable enough to have that conversation with me, to open up and say what the fuck you need? That's vulnerability. And if you can't, there's no fucking relationship, because that communication's gone.
Okay, this is the thing. Like for you guys, it's so like that's natural for you, because you guys can just come to us, hey, this is what's going on, and lay all that on us. Right?
Yeah.
But for us, we're not built that way. Like we're not, I wouldn't just come to you like, hey, I had to tell you all the things I'm going through at work. Like it's just not in me. If you ask me, I will tell you. I'll communicate it with you. And that's what I'm saying is, for guys are like, it's not like in our nature to come home, hey honey, and give you all the stuff I went through in that life. Like we're just built to like.
That's not what we're asking you to do.
But you just say like you want to. You said that be vulnerable. You said be vulnerable to tell you if you're going through shit, right?
No. I hope you replay this.
Okay, go ahead. Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
I said vulnerability needs to come when we need it. The relationship needs it. I've given my experience in terms of my relationship. My husband should have communicated his needs in our relationship, maybe what I was lacking for him. So he needs something, right? He needs me to maybe fulfill freaking kinks, or like whatever the fuck it is. Like if you cannot communicate your needs to your partner, what do you need in this relationship? And because if you're going to go and get it elsewhere, like that's toxic. Like it's not coming home and telling me everything that happened. That's not it. Vulnerability needs to happen when the relationship needs it. So if something's happening in the relationship and you're not feeling like, say we're in a relationship and maybe you're now not happy with me because I don't know, and so you go and seek it elsewhere because you're not communicating it, but you're going to stay in this relationship. That's where it's like, nah, you need to be vulnerable with your spouse, and you need to say what you need in that relationship. And then that's like that's the vulnerability, not the fucking come home and freaking talk about everything. No, that shit would bore me too.
So it said that, but do you feel like that's a separate issue besides vulnerability? Because your husband had a there was something that that you needed in a relationship, right? So obviously there was something within him that he had an issue with. So that's something you guys had to fix, right?
No, yeah. So like it's not just him. There's a lot of males that you know, like maybe they're not expressing what they want in that relationship. They're not expressing it. They don't know how to express it. They're just going to accept the woman for who she is and what she brings, even if they want more in that relationship, whether it's sexually, whether it's emotionally. Maybe you need me to be more loving towards you if I'm like not like that right now. Maybe you need me to satisfy you in a certain way, so you don't go looking for it elsewhere, but you're not going to communicate it with me because you don't know how. That's the vulnerability that needs to happen.
Yeah, I think with that, I think it's the fear of losing you. You know, I think that's a really big. I think you said it earlier. You know, it's like the fear of losing somebody with being 100% real with them and like explaining your kink. Like if you're into something and you want to be loved this certain way, or you want to be rubbed this certain way, sometimes speaking about it, I run the chance of losing you and you thinking that because I'm into this, you're going to be completely turned off. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like guys kind of hide that, because I feel like a lot of guys that I know have this weird kink about them that they like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like they like it. You know what I mean? Some guys like the finger, other guys like some other stuff. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, but they don't exactly. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm not trying to let you know that about me, because I don't want you to think I'm weird, or I don't want to lose you. You know what I mean? And especially if you've been with somebody for so long, if you've been with somebody for 9 years, and you tell them that you're into something, sometimes you have a lot more to lose. You know what I mean? There's a lot more on the line to let you, you know what I mean? And so because there's so much on the line, I'm just not going to tell you, you know what I mean? I'm going to just, you know, figure it out on my own. And I think that's, I feel like I'm kind of like that, you know what I mean? but I'm getting to a point where I can be open and vulnerable to speak about stuff like that. But like, it's just still kind of weird for me. You know what I mean? Which when it comes around, I got a couple questions that that I want to touch back on this kind of subject. But yeah, like I said, I think that like that even goes back. This kind of goes back to what Will was saying. You know what I mean? It's like a really hard pill to swallow when you let somebody in on your most vulnerable, kink.
Yeah. And I also believe, like I told before, it's like, it's just, I can't explain to you guys because like when I talk with women, you guys are naturally just open. It's natural for you guys to open and be open. But for us, it's just like even I have to force myself, even if I know that they want it, and I can't explain it to you. It's just a guy thing.
Yeah,
all the guys out there.
I'm gonna second that because like,
I can't explain it to you. I can't explain to you. I can't explain to you guys unless you're a guy that even as much as I want to love you and as much as I care about you, it's just really hard for me to open up because like I said, I feel like it's a biological thing. So even if there is a guy out there that's healthy that loves you, he may not open up to you, and I just feel like it's not because he doesn't want to, not because he doesn't love you. It's just as a guy, it's just something about it that when you open up, it just feels weird.
I feel like it brings anxiety.
It brings
anxiety. Anxious. It makes guys.
I feel a lot better just keeping it to myself.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Or Alfred, I feel a lot better either I keep it to myself or I share it with other guys.
Yeah,
and they understand it. And they get it.
We share with the boys. You share with
the boys.
The little things are into.
They get it. I'm telling you, like
you're like rejoiced. It's all like
if you share it to you, and I'm telling you, it's not on purpose. It's not like we're not doing it to mess up the relationship. We're not doing it to try to lose you. I'm just speaking from the experience. Like it's just a feeling that we feel as soon as we open that up. It's just weird. It's weird.
You know what though? Uncomfortability is where expansion and growth is, though. I'm telling you, I agree with you. You guys are like avoiding it.
No, this is. I give you guys a perfect example.
So many things that women feel uncomfortable doing, but fuck, we're gonna do it.
But that's true. But you're a woman.
It's a pride thing for males. For guys, I really wanted to say that. You know what I mean?
It's like you guys. It's like you guys trying to explain pregnancy to us. Like you can't. I can't understand it because only you can be pregnant. Like go through that.
And then emotionally go through that.
It's like I can't. No matter how much you explain, I can never understand it of what you guys go through. And I feel like when it comes to like being vulnerable, it's just a weird feeling.
I feel like women have their tolerance of pain and stuff that they go through is a lot higher than males. You know what I mean? It's just because like women, after women get their cycle of the month, they feel all these 100 levels. You know what I mean? 0 to 100 real quick, and like you guys do that on the regular, so you guys can regulate that pain and that energy. But for us, it's not a regular thing for us to regulate emotional pain. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's why I feel like it's tough to swallow that pill.
I love that.
It's tough to swallow.
No, I love you guys. Just do it. I'm telling you, I would do it if I could.
Yeah. Mentally, I agree with you. Emotionally,
but there's something in here. Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is.
My sixth chakra house is not opening.
Open yet, but what's the eighth gate? The eighth gate. I can't open the eighth gate. If I open it, I die. I can only open 7 gates.
Oh my gosh.
That's anime, if you guys don't know. All the anime fans out there, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Let's go.
Anyways, thanks you for the questions. But we are gonna go to the guys. I know it's already 12. Do you guys want to just do this? Continue on for one more hour? Is that cool?
1 more hour? No, yeah, all good.
Oh, delete. Let me delete. Go ahead.
Can I just jump in about that last one though? I think it's such a massive topic, but me personally, I have a lot of male friends, and they are all so willing to communicate some really deep stuff. And I feel like when you find people that you feel so safe with and so secure with, that you will actually get to that level where you can be vulnerable. And so I don't want to like assume anything, but for you guys, I feel like it hasn't quite come yet, and that's okay. You just haven't quite come across this person that you are willing to crack yourself open to, because they do exist. And I have so many beautiful males in my life who they are in relationships as well with women, and they are just so beautiful and so willing to speak their truth and not even sharing, things that are really deep. But for a male, because, for a male, the things that we can talk about is so cool. And like, I really appreciate that. And I think it's really healing for males to get to that level where you can open up to a female about the way that you feel about your emotions and that. So I know you keep going back to this whole biological thing, but that's, at the end of the day, it's a choice. You choose whether or not you're willing to it's a choice. And you're already making the face now because you're saying, no, I'm not going to make that choice.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it is so freaking healing when you do open up those floodgates, and when you do a lot more inner work, you will honestly come to a space where you can be that open, and then your relationships will just flourish on a whole new level. So
I
this is
totally
personal experience. Yeah.
No, I totally believe it is a choice. All I'm saying is it's not a choice as easy as it seems, as you guys explain it.
It's
absolutely
not easy.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely, it's not easy.
Yeah. So, and also one thing I have noticed, and maybe Alfred, you can speak on this. I do realize that I have improved as far as my being vulnerable as I got older.
I definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Like,
So if you're expecting guys to be vulnerable at 18, 19, 20, good luck.
Yeah, we don't. But
no. Just for everybody out there, I just learned that over time, over experience, I just through life, it just allowed me to grow as an individual. But I do realize that the younger guys, the younger generation, everybody out there, it is a struggle. So keep working, you guys. Work on yourselves, grow. And like I said, like all the ladies said, they said that they wanted that definitely helps in the relationship, which I also believe as well. We should communicate and we should be open, vulnerable, especially what Shinarah said, when the relationship needs it, right? Relationship, because the ultimate goal at the end of the relationship is we have to do whatever it takes to make it work. So if we have to be vulnerable, if we have to come out, and I know it's hard for men for men out there, but like I said, everything that's worthwhile is not going to be easy. It's supposed to be hard, but if you do make it work, it is beautiful for both men and women to get what they want and build a great relationship. But we are gonna do some super chats. So super chats real quick for everybody out there. So guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with YouTube. If you guys watch YouTube, we do have something called super chats where you guys are able to donate into to the content creator and help that, and donate to the content creator to make sure I'm giving you guys a great content for you guys, and ultimately you can help us out so that way I can continue to build more content for you guys. So ultimately, you guys already know I have a podcast. My ultimate goal one day is to have my own podcast studio. So I know a lot of you guys are watching this. I know a lot of you guys are Pacific Islanders, and I know Pacific Islanders. Show some love. Let's show some love. Let's support one another. Let's build one another. A lot of these beautiful guests, and then I put in a lot of work and effort to make sure we build quality content for you guys. But I do have some super chats real quick. I'm gonna share my computer with you guys real quick. Give me 1 second, and I'm going to share. All right, can you guys see my screen? You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, cool, guys. So if you're watching, if you're live, we have some super chats. Please show some love. Please donate to my podcast. Everything that you donate to my podcast, everything is gonna go into investing back into my business. I do want to get my own studio one day, my own podcast one day, and hopefully I can invite these guests one day if they ever want to come down to America. Alfred, if you ever want to come down to LA, I have a studio and we can actually do this live and one-on-one on the studio. That's the ultimate goal. So guys, I do have a super chat donation. I do have a Venmo. I do have a Cash App. If you guys want to add some donations, you guys can see on my screen. You want to show some love and support my podcast, help my dream. and make sure I have my own studio one day. And of course, I could continuously make great content for you guys to give back to you guys. Any donation, just text it to my Cash App. You can send it to my Cash App, send it to my Venmo. If you want to read a comment, if you want me to read a live comment on my show, there's $5 and up. Just send that money to my Venmo, my Cash App. If you guys want a question to be answered live, if you want a specific question to be answered live to one out of me or one of the guests, it's $19. Send that money to Venmo, Cash App. If you have a question that you guys have, you want us to discuss live on this show, it's $49 and up. And of course, if you guys want to call and share your thoughts live on the show, you guys will do a quick 5-minute call with us, and you guys can share your thoughts, everything we discuss on this show, live on this show. It's $99 and up. So once you guys send me the money through Cash App or Venmo, just you guys all on Facebook, just send me a quick messenger on my messenger that you guys send me the money. And if you guys have a question, just text me the question through Messenger, and I'll be able to see the transaction of what you sent, and also then I can answer the question from what you sent on the Messenger. So you can just contact me through the Messenger. If you want to call, you can call me on Messenger. Whether you want to do it video or you want to do it by audio, and we can answer this real quick to you guys. So yeah, so I'll take the time for you guys, show some love. Like I told you guys before, I'm just gonna super chat donations. I'm trying to build and get my own studio. And if you guys can invest and help me build this real quick and donate to my dream, donate to make sure I'm giving you guys this content and continuously give you guys great content, please show us a love and support. So to show some love and support, y'all, please show some love and support. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, man. Just support one another. We all doing this together. We're doing this, you know, I'm putting a lot of work for you guys to give you guys what you need to grow. And all I ask you guys to show us a love and support. And yeah, if you guys have a question to ask these guests, I'm sure you guys have some questions. Ask Alfred. I don't know if Alfred is willing to take off his shirt. I don't know if you mentioned that, but ask the guests. But if you have a specific question, take the time. You know, we got some great guests on this show. Shinarah has a beautiful mind, and also Jani as well. So if you guys want to ask them a live question for them to answer, go ahead and Venmo. And then once you Venmo the information, then send me the question through the Messenger app, and I'll be able to double check to make sure that I have to make sure the funds are in the account real quick. So yeah, show some love, show some support. And if you want to get on a call, hey, anybody wants to get on a call real quick, please get on that call. And I'll be love to hear your thoughts. And if you guys want to challenge us, you know, you want to do a little debate, go one-on-one, either to Shinarah, either to Jani, either to Alfred.
Yeah, let's go.
If you want to go one-on-one, or with me, I know I went hard on you guys in the beginning of the podcast. So if anybody out there if I triggered you and you wanna say something to my face, call me.
Let's go some keyboard warriors.
You want this? I don't know if you guys are ready. You ready for this? I got it. I'm locked and loaded. If you want to say something to me, you call me out. If you disagree with a lot of things I said, hey, I welcome that conversation. All I said is that's all we're respectful of one another. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree, but it'd be, like I said, the whole purpose of this is we can have open conversations. And I do want to extend that to all the live viewers out there that are watching. So show some love. Please show some love and support my podcast. I would appreciate it. If you, I'm about to take it off right now, so screenshot it right now, so you guys have it on your phone, so you can have that. You can check it out. But I'm about to go back to my guests real quick. All right, show some love. Don't be cheap. Don't be cheap. Your body doesn't say you're cheap. Okay. I know you got the funds. I can just take a look at your profile picture. I know you got the funds.
$5.
A lot of you guys don't look like $5. Those are like $200. Oh man. Okay, let me go back. All right, you guys can see me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let me just double check to make sure I have my
So are we just waiting for comments to come through?
Yeah, they can send it whenever they send it. But we'll move on. I know you guys asked the questions, ladies. Alfred, I know I asked my question. What was your question, Alfred?
I got a couple questions, but I just kind of want to lead with this question because this question I actually get a lot of traction. And I've been.
It was the most controversial one.
I debate this a lot with my friends.
Are you guys ready?
And one of my homegirls. All right, but so I'll let you know where I stand after. But does it hurt more when a woman cheats as opposed to when a man cheats? A lot of men have been saying that when women cheat, it hurts a lot more rather than when the man cheats on the woman.
I
Do you
think that
agree
would
with
be
that?
Yeah, I think that would be correct, because when a woman cheats, we're cheating because emotionally we have disconnected.
Yes.
So we're not looking for just sex now. If I'm going to go away from like my relationship, it's because emotionally I've now detached. I physically cannot get with someone, allow someone to see me at that level, give that love to someone else, because physically I can only do that with someone I like, or personally, like I really want to be with, or like I have a connection with. Obviously it's not like that for all women. But yeah, absolutely. I think in terms of like me and hubby, it would hurt for him more, because now I've like replaced everything, not just sex.
Ooh.
Jani?
Oh, that was fire. That was fire. That was fire. Hold on.
You know, replace me for sex, but yeah, like woman, yeah, I think. Anyway.
Interesting.
Thank you. You got that chill. I got to give you that little chill real quick. That was a good answer. All right, go ahead, Jani.
What do you think, Jani?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I feel like for a woman to cheat, she has to be really checked out. She has to have already decided that everything that she's been trying to do to get attention, to do whatever it is that she's been looking for, isn't happening in the relationship. Like, it takes a really long time for a woman to decide that she's going to give up on the relationship. But the thing is, once she decides, it's really hard to come back. So once she's decided that, and she's willing to now cheat and go with someone else, that means that she's been able to find that connection somewhere else. And yeah, if she's disconnected, she's already checked out. That's probably why it's a lot harder for the male, because now the male has to try and come back through a lot of shit that he probably missed on the way. Whereas for males, I've been told that males just cheat for that quick gratification. It's not really emotional. They just want to do the thing. So that's why it's not that hard on women, and women are a lot more emotionally tougher as well. So that's probably why that is. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Interesting.
That is true.
That's funny. You guys are like the only girls that have ever said that in my conversation. So it's cool to hear that from
We're
your side.
bred different. We're bred different.
Well, I mean, personally, okay, Will, what do you think?
No, I do believe in that. I do agree with everything they said. And for a woman, in order for her to cheat, that means she's, when a woman cheats, she's already emotionally checked out. And for us as guys, sometimes we do things, but there's no emotional behind it. Sometimes, I've been with women and I don't really feel anything emotionally. I'm just with them doing what I do, but there's no emotional attached to it. And so I do understand their standpoint, but yeah, for us, when we know for a fact as men that if a woman, that's why I told you guys before, like the love language, men, we show our love through protection and provision. Women show their love through fidelity and loyalty. So that's how you know a woman loves you, is when she chooses to be loyal to you. And if she breaks that, that's how you know she's no longer loyal to you. You know she's no longer invested into you, and men know that. And then when a woman cheats on you, you know, oh my God, like she doesn't love you anymore. She doesn't care about it anymore. And Alfred, I don't know if you can speak on this. We can mess up as guys, but I can still love my partner. We can do dumb things. We can do dumb things. Like I'm not making excuses, but I know a lot of guys that have done mistakes, but they're still more in love with either their spouse or with their partner, but they just made some stupid decisions. But it doesn't mean that they're not emotionally detached from their wife. They still love their life emotionally. But I know for women, like once they cheat, once they go with another person, it's over. There's no more emotion. There's no more attachment. There is no more love in that relationship. And I do have friends that have made mistakes. And and but then once they learn from that mistake, they were straight. Like, I'm sorry, I apologize, I made it up, but they were still in love with their woman. I just feel like that's the difference between us and men. And I love and I agree what they said. When a woman does it, it's done. There's no chance of going back.
Yeah.
Guys, like we can make. I've seen guys that make mistakes, but they're still emotionally attached to their woman. They still have feelings for their wife. And for some guys, they'll learn from that mistake and move on and never do it again and be with that woman for the rest of his life and take care of her.
I personally.
You go.
Go ahead. Well, okay. So I was gonna say, like, so I personally think that it's the same. I think the pain is the same. Because so if I were to be cheated on, you know what I mean? And I had a boyfriend and he went and cheated on me, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, so were you thinking of me when you were kissing that dude over there? Were you telling me the same things that you were telling that? Were you telling that guy the same thing you're telling me? I feel like that loyalty and that trust, like we were supposed to be a thing. We were supposed to be a unit. You know what I mean? And then you went and you did what you did to me to somebody else, and you gave what was mine to somebody else. And I feel like that is the hugest, to me, that hurts. That hurts so much. And that's, to me, it's the same equal level of, you know what I mean, knowing that you cut that trust and like you checked out emotionally. I feel like that pain is the same, because like it was that easy for you to go cheat on me, like seriously, just because you wanted to get a nut out. Like, come on now. Like, I feel like if you love me and you love me truthfully, like you really say, then you would have never done that. You would have never cheated. You know what I mean? Because you were supposed to be my ride or die. Now I know that you are this type of person, and it was that easy for you to cheat. Then fuck it. I feel like I fucked up by falling in love with somebody that was able to cheat on me. Because if I fell in love with you, I would have thought that you fell in love with me and loved me the same amount. You know what I mean? To the point of not cheating. Yeah, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't, I don't know, there's like always issues and stuff, but I feel like cheating is like the utmost disrespect to that coven that you're supposed to have with somebody. You know what I mean? And I feel like, to me, it's the same. The pain is the same. You know what I mean? A cheat is a cheat, and a cheat is a cheat. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like the pain is.
Do you believe
the same?
Do you believe once a cheater, always a cheater?
I mean, I'm honestly, people can change, but what happened. So yeah.
So you're taking back. So somebody. Oh, so okay. So for you guys, I'm just curious. Would you guys take somebody back if they cheated?
Yes. My thing is, so like, I'm really sorry, Alfred. I don't think we answered that. We answered it with like the reasons for cheating, but absolutely, you're correct that the pain is the same. Like, absolutely, it hurts. And I think that's, you know what, if you're a cheater, you're a fucking asshole, because a lot of our issues with self-worth comes from the rejection and the disloyalty from a spouse and from friends, and from, you know, it happens within our lifetimes where the people that are supposed to be like our closest people are disloyal in so many different ways, not just our intimate relationships, but even our friendships. When you're going behind people's back and talking shit about them, like, are you really a friend? Why are you even their friend? There's so much rejection that happens in our life that we end up dealing with all this unworthiness, and it's like, nah, you just need to find people that really do love you for you. But in terms of cheating, I truly believe that it comes down to discipline. Like, if you are someone that has experienced a lot of rejection in your life, and then, you know, you absolutely find this beautiful spouse, and you have a beautiful connection, but then possibly you're tempted by another beautiful woman or something like that, and you've never had that happen to you before, you could definitely be more tempted than someone who's experienced it a lot. Absolutely, you could be more tempted. So it's definitely a personal thing. Absolutely, it can be worked through, and it's definitely a personal growth journey, and understanding like deeper than just the surface fucking level, right? It's so much deeper than that. And sometimes we don't want to take ourselves there, but it's so much deeper than just like a physical attraction. Like there's so much that actually goes behind in terms of like why people weren't disciplined enough to just not do the thing.
Hey, real quick. We have a our first donation. Thank you. I gotta go. Thank you. Much love. Thank you for the $19. So he has a question he wants to ask live. I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more time, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the question he asked was, thank you. I really appreciate that. $19. I really appreciate that, man. That you know, that means a lot to me. You know, that's like, you know, that means so much to me. Somebody out there that's valuing my content and all the work that I do.
Support the homie.
Just support the homie out there. So much love to you. Thank you so much. And yeah, everybody out there, show some love, man. I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. The question is, what do you consider cheating? That's the question. What do you consider cheating?
Ooh.
That was a question.
If you wouldn't do that in front of your partner, that's cheating.
No, because I think he means like, because you know, there's so many ways. Like we have social media now. So what is considered? Yeah, what is considered cheating? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you're DMing somebody, like if you were gonna keep that a secret from your partner, I feel like that's like part of cheating. You know what I mean? That's what starts it.
Yeah. If you have to hide it, but let's put it this way: if it's going to ruin your relationship, if it could absolutely wreck the other fucking person, don't be an asshole. Don't do it. Like whatever the fuck it is. If you guys, you know what? Some people like digital, social media is a massive thing. It's so easy to create dating sites and create these fake freaking things to get that emotional attachment to someone. And yes, it's not a physical thing. Yes, you haven't met up physically, but physical things are happening in your body. You're getting lit. Like there's emotional aspects internally that are happening when you're having these fucking conversations. So you can't tell me that social media isn't a form of cheating, because it really is. Like, and it is something that we hide behind now, that the whole it wasn't done physically, but why didn't you just go do it physically then? I mean, physical shit's happening. Like if you want it, go get it.
I would ask you this, because this is something, since we're talking about the subject of social media, and okay, so for you ladies, I do want to ask you, so for you, would you be okay if guys, you've been in a relationship with a guy and he's liking other girls' pics? Are you okay with that? Is that cheating to you if he's liking other girls' pics?
It's a loaded one. This is loaded.
To be fair, I don't find the need to check my husband's phone. When I found out what was with him, his phone, we were playing we play tag, but his phone was going off 3 o'clock in the morning. His phone never goes off. And I was like, what is this alarm? So it wasn't even an intentional thing. It literally was like I was going to go and turn the alarm off, and it's not a fucking alarm, it's fucking notifications for things, right? And it's like, if you're quite secure in your relationship, there's really no need to check their social media.
Okay.
Like if they're liking on stuff, like first of all, it's like none of my business there.
Okay.
But like no, that like I guess if it's body images and stuff like that.
I'm talking about body images.
Yeah. Like, but to be fair, we're absolutely attracted to other people. That shouldn't be a bad thing. Okay. I fucking find so many men beautiful and attractive, and it doesn't have to be anything more than that. And me and my husband speak on this a lot. It's like, you can find women attractive. That's not, like, I'm quite secure in myself. But if you need to go elsewhere, go. Fucking just go. Because I'm like, I don't deserve that. Like, you know, absolutely you can like and be attracted to other people, but if it ends up more than that, that's where it's like a no.
Okay.
You to like other people's things, cool, like them. But if it's going to make me feel like I'm less than, or if it's going to make me feel like I have to compare myself to these women, that's where it becomes an issue. Like, it's like, am I enough?
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
You've been liking all these big booty pictures, but
Yeah.
Mm.
Nah, yeah. So like, but my thing is like, again, I probably wouldn't look into likes and stuff on that level, because I absolutely think that we're absolutely allowed to be attracted to other people, but in a healthy way, where it doesn't go like, you can think someone's beautiful and cool, they're beautiful,
Okay.
and like, why should there be anything more than that?
So to you, as long as he loves you and he's doing everything for you,
And he's communicating and
communicating,
vulnerable,
vulnerable,
and okay,
growing,
vulnerable,
challenging,
and just
doing all
letting me
those
know
things.
how it is.
He has a purpose. He knows where to go, but he can all day,
Like.
all day.
you know,
All right.
so I kind of went through a little bit kind of like this. So like when me and my ex were together, right? He would be so pissed because like on social media, I get a lot of likes and too, but
Yeah.
on social media, the likes that I get are from guys that I will never meet, or guys that are like different states, far away. Like I'll never get the chance to meet them. You know what I mean? And it's cool. Like they like my pictures and I like their pictures back. And he would see that. But he didn't like that. He would hate that. But my thing is like I'm not even attracted to these guys, and the pictures that I'm liking of guys are like Instagram models. You know what I mean? Like these I'll never get a chance to meet this guy, and even if I do, there is a 0% chance that this is gonna work out. You know what I mean? But my ex would get pictures, like he would like pictures, and guys would like his pictures, are people that are in our city. You know what I mean? Like that are up the street from you, and I know you could run into them at the gas station or at the store. You know what I mean? And I feel like that level of you being able to cheat on me is a lot higher because they're here, they're in your face. You guys have mutual friends. You know what I mean? And you could meet this guy at a party. And I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like more your level, it's closer to you. And I feel like that, to me, that would bother the shit out of me. You know what I mean? Like, why are you liking this guy's pictures? Because he lives up the street from you. You know what I mean? I can't be around you all the time, but like, it's making me worried.
So for you, as long as outside your zip code, you're good.
I mean, like, I feel like, you know, when I feel like a lot of girls get mad at their guys or at their boyfriends or husbands or whatever because they like pictures that like big titties, big ass, you know what I mean? Or they're twerking or something like that. You know what I mean? But these girls are like, they have thousands of likes, you know what I mean? Millions of likes.
Yeah, there's zero chance for them. Like,
and even if you meet them, like that girl's never gonna go for you. You know what I mean? But I don't know, like, but I think like this, maybe the girls feel different. You know what I mean? Girls are like, it's like now, if he's liking big booty pictures and stuff, and it's like, do you want me to have a big booty? You know what I mean? I feel like from women, it's like what Shinarah was saying earlier. It's like she starts comparing herself to these pictures of these women that you keep liking, you know. But like me, like I like guys' pictures with big muscles and stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I can't say that I wouldn't want that in a partner, but I mean, like if my partner didn't have that, I wouldn't, you know what I mean, go out there looking for it.
Okay, so as long as he doesn't like pictures either within the same city or within the same circles as you, then you're okay with that, right, Alfred?
I feel like it's like the potential to leave me for that person. I think that's what scares me, you know? It's like,
even if they're liking people, like say in other countries, like there's no chance in hell they're gonna meet. Would you be okay with that or no? Or still no?
I mean, I would be okay with it if you're liking, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the same. It's like if my boyfriend was liking other guys' pictures and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy is kind of fine. You know what I mean? I wouldn't care because I'm like, I think we both find this person attractive, and I think it's like a compliment rather than like a lust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel like you lusting for this person. I think you're just appreciating what they're putting on there. But if you're like, you know, liking somebody's and it comes off as, I feel like it's a lust rather than it's a appreciation, then that's when I get triggered. You know what I mean? I feel like that's
is there a way you can recognize that?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
because you know what, like a like on social media is one thing. Are you okay with your partners having conversations with the opposite sex? Because that should be, you know, that shit should be okay as well. Like, you know, there are so many relationships that happen outside of our own relationships, and that are platonic, and that's okay, and they appreciate, those relationships. That, like, my husband has relationships with women that I have no idea, like, I don't know them, and it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
it's safe, right? It's
Yeah.
safe. And in the same way, I feel like if you take that mindset and just be like, as Alfred said, like, it depends on the motive as well. Like, if you guys are
the intentions.
yeah, the intentions, like, absolutely you can appreciate beautiful women, absolutely you can appreciate beautiful men. I personally don't like men's photos because of like what's on the thing. I probably like the scenery or the freaking, like, the caption really captures me, so I appreciate different things. But obviously for males, you guys may appreciate a physical body first. And for me and Jani, we are women who use our social medias in self-love. So we absolutely show our bodies. We appreciate the likes. But like, we're not putting ourselves out there for you guys to hit us up later. You know what I mean? So for
they're
us,
not thirst traps. They're not thirst traps.
we understand that absolutely, like,
There's traps, not
like,
thirst.
appreciate it. And I'm happy for, like, hubby, or if I got into another relationship, that they appreciate another woman for their beauty. I fucking love women and their beautiful structures and stuff like that. So why not? Like, we don't have to be pitiful. And I think what we have come across, especially in our Polynesian community, is that there's this tall poppy syndrome. Like, nah, like, she thinks she's all that. Like, nah, fuck. Like, we can appreciate beauty being in relationships regardless, whether you're single or in a relationship. It should be safe enough for you guys to absolutely appreciate beauty in all shapes and forms.
Okay, well said. And what were you, Jani? When it comes to liking, when it comes to your partner, when it comes to liking other girls' pictures, how do you feel about that?
I really agree with like what Alfred said. Like, if you're doing something that is going to make the other person feel uncomfortable, then it's probably not a good thing. But then at the same time, I feel like that if what your partner is doing is making you feel like discomfort or uncomfortable, then it's important to question how much are they making you feel comfortable in your own body and your own skin, not on social media, but behind closed doors. Because if you're not feeling valued or loved or worthy for the other person, and them liking all of these other things is triggering you, then maybe it's, you need to be questioning how much love and worth and value do you have for yourself, and how much do you have within the relationship. So it can also go down that track as well. But for me personally, like, I'm all good. With my man, like, liking other girls' pictures or whatever. At the same time, like, it's, you just need to be able to communicate about it. Like, exactly what Alfred said. If you feel like it's going to make the other person uncomfortable, then don't do it. And if you do have a problem with it, say something about it. Don't just freaking go have a sook behind closed doors and tell all of your friends that your man is cheating on you because he liked this girl's posts and all of those things. We get caught up in so many of those stupid little high school traps, man. Like, grow up and be mature about it, and take responsibility for the way that you feel, and talk about it, rather than just, making yourself the victim, because relationship takes two people.
I have I guess a different standpoint. So this is something my cousin goes through. So my cousin's a girl and she's with this guy, and this is how she laid it down and explained it out to me, and it makes so much sense.
Hold up. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So with social media and stuff, I feel like so like we all like I guess I'm gonna just speak about myself personally, but I have like dedicated people that like every single one of my posts, you know what I mean? Like, they're like these gay dudes or whatever. And I'm just like, these guys, to me personally, when a guy's just liking all your stuff and just every time you post something, they like your stuff, there's certain guys you can tell it comes off thirsty. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's thirsty. And so my cousin was thinking, like, in her head, because we have people like that in our accounts, on our social media handles, it's like when her boyfriend does it and likes this girl's picture and likes it all the time and likes everything that she posts, she's like, oh my God, this guy's super thirsty. And come to find out, this guy's dating this girl. And then that girl looks stupid now because even though she's dating this man's lusting after another girl. You know what I mean? So it's like she feels stupid because he's liking other girls' pictures. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And so that's why she was saying that she doesn't like it, because it's like he's like thirsty. He's like coming off super thirsty because he's liking that girl's booty pics, this girl's booty pics. And like, how many profiles are you faithfully liking all their pictures? And then it's like this thing, she just goes into her head and starts thinking about it, makes it a bigger deal. But I mean, I feel like her point is completely valid. Like that's kind of like how I think, you know what I mean? When guys are liking all my posts, and if I post something that's like this and you're like laughing emoji, or heart emoji, it makes me think like you're thirsty, even though you have a boyfriend or something.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that comes back down to communication as well. Like, absolutely, I would feel the same way if you're a dedicated fucking liker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
you go through her pictures and all you see is like, he liked this one, he liked this one, he liked this one.
Absolutely. And it comes down to the respect within the relationship. Yes, I would be okay with my husband liking photos of women, but to be honest, we only follow people that we know, like, and trust. So if I don't know these women and you're like, maybe you've met them out in town and now you're liking all their shit, like, why are you liking all their shit? Like, what is it about them that you like? You know, like, it's those questions. And it's like not about the cheating. It's just like, that again comes down to the vulnerability and communication. Like, why are you liking them? Are you going to have that conversation with me? Like, this is where that vulnerability needs to come into relationships. Like, if you find women attractive and you have more of an intention than just appreciation, and you're now committed to, like, I don't know, just that thing. What you're saying is like, because social media, it's so easy, it's so easily accessible for people, right? Are you going to have that conversation with me so that I can understand and meet you? Like, is there something more going on? Like what's happening in your head, why you feel the need to do that? Because it goes both ways, right? Absolutely, I'm okay with him liking other women's posts, especially if I know, like, and trust them myself. Absolutely, I'm okay with him having an appreciation. I'm not okay with you being a thirsty hoe.
What if he were to tell you? What if he turned around and told you that he was like, "Don't worry, don't trip about it. Don't worry, babe. It's just a like. It's just a like." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you think it's deeper than that? Do you think it's deeper than that? And
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Because now it's surface level. You've already given me an excuse for your actions.
This is my thoughts on it, and I've just. Do you want to add something, Shinarah?
Like, I honestly think that your cousin is correct. Like, if he's being a thirsty hoe, he's a thirsty hoe, and there's a lot more going on. Like, he really appreciates these bodies. But yeah, like I think there's just so much more. Like, this is where we really do need to get those deep conversations happening with each other and be more open and understanding. Because obviously, if we're not okay with people doing that in our relationship, then like, either you're going to meet that need or you're not.
Yeah. So this is I did want to share my I know, listen, a lot of you said, some of you guys said, I think Shinarah said that even if you trust that person, whether the intentions doesn't matter. I think for me, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. The way I see it is, regardless if you trust somebody, regardless if you have the intentions, you have the right intentions, I just feel like that you shouldn't put yourself in a situation that might tempt you, if that makes sense. So for me, look, you know what I'm saying? So that's the way I see it. Like, even if the liking is harmless, right? Say if it's just surface level, it's harmless. But I feel like that's, over time, that can be a situation that might tempt you one day. Like, for me, like, if I'm married to a woman, to my wife, and a lot of my friends, invite me to places that there's a lot of girls around, there's a lot of women around, or go to clubs, even though as much as I love my wife and I have the right intention for her, I just know myself at the end of the day, I'm human, but I wouldn't want to put myself in a situation that might tempt me, so I'll avoid it. I feel like,
Mhm.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's a
So,
mature, that's a smart move. I
right.
think that
So I feel like for both
should be
partners, like I know we both love each other. I know we have the right intention for each other, but I feel like we should avoid things that can put yourself in a situation that might tempt you. So even liking pictures, like, you know, it may be harmless, but you know, I just feel like that if we give too much freedom to your partner, you know, I know you love me, go, you know, go and do whatever you want to do because I know you love me. But I feel like that's you know, as people, we are human. So if you give too much, if you don't create a boundary, and I feel like if you allow people just to do whatever they want to do, and out of the concept of like, I trust them, but at the end of the day, we're human. If we put ourselves in a situation, sometimes there will be a moment, and then
Yeah.
something happens. So
You
I feel
take the
like,
risk of that
yeah,
person falling.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like it's just better off if like don't do things that put you in a situation that might tempt you as a human, because we're all human at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
for me, I'll just stop liking bitches because like I just I don't want that temptation, because I don't want to like a picture and the girl sees it, I like the picture, she might send me a DM, and I now that DM is in my phone. I don't
What
want that
about
temptation. I don't want
all
that
the
temptation. I don't want that
what
temptation.
about all the what about all the times you guys are going out with your friends though? That's the same thing. That's worse than a like.
I was just about to say that. It's like
Like
you
it's
gotta
like
know
I,
when
Huh?
to
What
leave.
is
You
it?
gotta
yeah,
know
Huh?
you
when
just
to leave.
Yeah, no
can't
one.
like
Yeah, no one.
liking
Or just saying no. I'm
liking
sorry, I can't
a
go.
photo is less destructive than going out with your boys for a rowdy night. Like, let's be honest. Like, again, it's just the communication. Like, if you don't like something and someone's unwilling to meet you there, fuck them. like,
I was just saying, like, you might
if
like.
it comes, and obviously, you know what? We're always going to make mistakes. There's just no way about it. Like, we have to make mistakes in order to grow. And that's how we learn and grow and how we expand in our relationships. So
Right.
absolutely, there are going to come times when you guys don't see eye to eye in a relationship, but it's like communicating those boundaries, understanding what's okay and not okay, and like both being willing to work on it.
Jani, you want to say something?
Oh, sorry, there was a fly in my face, but yeah, I'm on the same page. Like the whole like thing, I think sometimes people read so far into it though. Like we don't want to get petty about it. Like just let the boy bloody like the pictures. It's fine. Like don't read so much into it, and don't
Yeah.
waste so much energy worrying about, oh my God, why did he like this picture and not this picture? And then why did he only like these ones? Like I think sometimes we get so caught up on it, and we're giving our energy and our time away to the most smallest things. Like if your man likes someone else's pictures and you're getting really caught up on it, like Shinarah said, you just need to communicate about it and not spend so much time, bickering about things. Communication's always going to bring you back. But yes, also on like the boys going out thing, same thing. If you feel uncomfortable about your man going out, then ask yourself why. Why are you uncomfortable about him going out? Is there something that you need to talk about? Is there something that has happened in the past that you want to make sure doesn't happen again? Is there a girl that might be there that you maybe don't trust or don't feel comfortable with him being around? And once again, that comes back to communicating. So that's why I said communication is always going to be the most important thing at the end of the day, because regardless if you fuck up or not, if you can come back and communicate about it and talk about it and be vulnerable and willing to be seen for all of those things, that the emotions that were happening and going through your mind when whatever that situation was, and be vulnerable enough to talk about how you're actually feeling and why that situation happened, then the relationship will continue to grow. So
Exactly.
yeah.
No. Yeah, I think everybody made some good points. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like it's just like a self-awareness. Like when you care about somebody, like you shouldn't, they shouldn't have to tell you what to do as far as like the boundary. Like you should know this already.
Yeah.
If you had to constantly if your partner has to constantly tell you what you should and what you should not do because it makes them feel uncomfortable, I feel like the communication is key. But I feel like it's just like having the awareness and empathy to know, hey, like I should, this may be something that may cause future issues. I feel like that we should be aware of the future, not just wait till something happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for me, it's just like if my friends have doing certain things, even though it could be innocent, but I just feel like I'm just if I'm with somebody, I'll just avoid anything that I feel like that may cause anything in the future. So I'd rather just avoid it. I'd rather just avoid it. I don't trust myself. I just avoid it. I just avoid it because I don't want to lose this relationship. I do want to be in a relationship with somebody. But I feel like sometimes, like, you know, if I feel like that if you don't set a boundary or you give people, you know, give people an inch, they'll take a mile. I feel like it's really important to communicate that and everything. It's very interesting to hear everybody's standpoints. So everybody out there that's listening right now. So yeah, I guess to just finish it off real quick, to finish the podcast, I'll allow you guys, ladies, to ask one more question, and then I guess we'll just end the podcast with that. Do you guys have any final questions? Some spicy questions, some controversial questions, the forbidden taboo questions that we may get canceled. Those type of questions.
I got a good one.
Anybody have those type of questions?
Yeah. When it comes to, so like, you know what, like we're absolutely in a digital world, right? Where porn is really accessible. But my problem is a lot of men don't know how to have sex.
Okay.
So have you even made love, like proper love? And I like, because another thing is that with men, like you know what, you go to porn to learn how to have sex, and then you're speaking with the boys who also have only really gone to porn or who have only done the thing. Like, do you know how to please a woman? Do you know what she would like, you know, like,
have you asked her what she wants? Have you asked her what she likes and enjoys?
Yeah, because I found that, like, and I've had my experience, like, as much as I love long-term relationships, I've absolutely had my deal, and like, yeah, I've been the one to say how I like it, and it's not initiated by the male. A male only really wants to just do the thing, or you know, like it's just so much more, like it's so sacred, and it's so like, yeah, intimate. It's fucking intimate, and yeah, it's not like we're not dogs.
Oh, okay. So like so you're just saying so what's the question again? Can you say the question?
So I
got distracted.
Well, personally, have you guys actually made love, and how long possibly did it take you to really understand what love was on an intimate level? Because sex is one thing, you can have sex with any fucking thing. A sock, go and do it. But yeah, have you made love? And like, obviously this is okay, sorry, this is being vulnerable here, but it's for our people, it's for our community. Yeah, so have you made love? How long did it take, and how did you learn?
For me, I like to think that I have made love, you know what I mean, and that I've experienced that. And it took a while. We had to go through some ups and downs before we got there, you know what I mean? We went through some peaks and went through some valleys, and definitely I think the peaks and the valleys got me to realize, like, I do love this guy, you know what I mean? And the sex was amazing. After we, like, you know, after we made it, like, I guess got to that standpoint. Like, love, I don't know, it was tough to get there. It was definitely tough, but I feel like I don't know, it was once that happened, like, I don't know, it like kind of flipped the switch in my head, you know what I mean? On kind of how I enjoyed the sex, I guess.
Yeah, so when I say made love, I'm talking about not only giving love, not only giving the sex, but also being expressive and open to receiving it. So one thing I've found is, like, men don't know how to express what they want, and they don't know how to ask what the woman wants, or like what the other person wants. So there's, like, that communication part's not there for the sex. Well, I guess it's different if you don't know what you like, but yeah, like, have you expressed what you like in sex to your spouse, and have you been open to receiving that from the person? Yeah.
I feel like I feel like that when you have sex, like especially if it's a brand new relationship, you don't really like you don't talk about it, because I feel like if you talk about it, especially if the moment happens, it's like it's gonna ruin the mood. Like nobody has sex and it stops. Hey, wait, what do you like? Nobody has that conversation. You know, like me. Oh, go ahead, Alfred. Do you want to say something?
I mean, I think for me personally, like, I think that's like part of the fun. That's part of like having sex. You know what I mean?
That's the spontaneity.
Explore what you're not into, what you're into, and I think there's like for me, it was a healthy conversation. Like that's something that me and my lover were doing at the time. We were opening and we were talking about it, and we were open about, you know, about what he liked, what I liked, and we talked about it kind of like, and not, it wasn't even in passing. It's kind of like, you know, we were kind of watching a movie, eating some popcorn, and then he was like, you know what, I think I like this. I'm like, oh, cool, I'm down to try it. And then next time we were doing it, like we were trying and breaking down barriers on what we liked. You know what I mean? I think it's healthy, and I personally, I have done that, and it's worked well.
So Shinarah, you're talking about like you want when you talk about making love, you're talking about from a long-term committed relationship, not like a casual like one night thing relationship, right?
Yeah, long term.
Yeah, because I feel like that when you with somebody long term, you find out about one another's needs, wants, their sexual preferences, and what they want out of over experience. And I feel like that's something you can learn.
Sometimes.
Huh?
Sometimes it's not gold. Like that's what I'm saying is like, even in my long-term relationships, a lot of men don't know how to express what they want. Like, and so I'm happy that even Alfred was able to, you know, get that. And I guess it also comes back to a safe space if you feel safe enough with the person.
Yeah.
But it's like sex is one thing, but like making love is completely different, and being open to express what you want and what you need, and also receiving that.
Let me ask you, if you since we're talking about this topic, so if you like some freaky shit, for both of you guys, like, are you comfortable telling the guy what you like? Because I feel like for a lot of girls, they're afraid to tell us that they're into this freaky stuff, because they feel like that we might judge them, that may look, damn girl, like you know, they feel like they would get that judgment. And I feel like sometimes in my experience, like I just had to do it, and then I realized they just what they were into. But if I didn't initiate it, they wouldn't have been open to it, because a lot of girls feel like if they do tell you I'm into this, they might feel like that I might see them differently, or I might think they're a hoe, I might think they're like dirty. So I feel like for me it's all about I just know, this one's like a little freaky here, and then I just feel it from the vibe. I do notice a lot of women are insecure. For guys, like if we just go off what you give us, because you know we have to be respectful of because you have to control the actions of us allowing you to do that to you. So we have to stay within our boundaries. We can't go overexert it. We don't want to do something you don't like and then ruin the mood, and then you guys don't want to have sex no more. So we're just kind of going with your flow of what you allow us to do to you. And the more you tell us what to do with your body, the more we're willing to do it, to go beyond that. But we go with we have when it comes to sex, we have to go with your lead, especially if we're meeting a girl for the first time. We have to be very respectful of what you want, because we don't want to turn that into like assault or rape. So like, you know, we want to make sure that you're comfortable, and we don't want to overstep that boundary. So, but I do notice a lot of girls, like, I know you guys want us to take the lead, but we're like, hey, I don't want to do anything that you don't want to do, and ruin the mood. So whatever you're willing to give me, based on your vibe, your energy, that's what I'm gonna go with. So if I do feel like a lot of girls feel uncomfortable if they want to be a freak, but like.
Are you saying that you'd be led in sex, Will? Are you saying that your masculine's gonna come down in the bed?
No, I take.
So all this fucking time, you're a man who wants and drives, but in the bed, nah, I'm good. You lead me. You lead me wherever you want to go.
So weak.
I mean, up to you.
No,
I'm down
it
for it
really
now.
depends.
Well-
But it depends on the woman. I'm telling you, some because I gotta protect myself because there are some girls out. There's some girls I'm cool, but sometimes I'm like, I just have this weird vibe with like if I do like the what do you call the whistleblower, you know, like like I know there's some girls I just have this, especially when you meet girls at the club, like random girls at the club, right? When you meet these random girls, like I say, you literally don't know who they are, so and plus like I've had experiences with boys, like with my friends, like they met the wrong girl and they did something and they called out and they got in trouble.
Mm.
Hey, America, this happens every single day. Guys go with a chick, and then something happens. He says something, and then something happens to him with the law or something. So for me, I'm very, very conscious of what I'm doing because I just don't want. It really, like I said, it depends on the girl. If I really feel comfortable with her, we vibing, we had a good time, and we're communicating, and we have a good relationship. Yeah, but if it's just like somebody I just met for the first time, and we have no relationship, I don't know her intentions. I don't know what she's done in the past, and I don't want to do something, and then something happens, and she calls the police or something, and then I end up being locked up, and I'm done. My life is over. So that's always a fear of mine. That's always a fear of mine. But I don't know. What do you think, Alfred?
I feel like I guess to kind of Shinarah's point, I feel like a lot of dudes in sex, they come in with this huge confidence, right? They're coming in there and they're about to beat it up, but then it's like shitty sex. And like I hear about it a lot. And I know some dudes go in there and they kind of just I don't know. I feel like they feel like they're performing well, you know what I mean? But right after she's talking mad shit. So I don't know. I feel like it's like I like to be vocal because like I feel like that's part of it. That's part of the experience, right? If you're like having sex, like you should talk during sex. You know what I mean? Like dirty talk or whatever. And I think that's healthy for the experience that you're having. Now, there's some people that go in there and they think that they got it all planned out when they're about to go in and search and destroy, and it didn't work out. So that's why for me, I like to navigate by talking. Like, you know what I mean? Not like too much, but you know what I mean? But like, I like it like this, I like that, or oh, is this okay? You know what I mean? Like, or do you like that or not? You know what I mean? Like,
does it also depend on the person? Also, I want to say like depending on the situation and where you are, where you meet them.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if you meet somebody, like if you meet somebody, like let's say if you have a one night stand, if you meet somebody at a club, like you're not gonna like go all out like love, let's make love. You usually do that with somebody that you're committed to.
Yeah,
you don't meet some random person and like trying to give them like the make love session. And you just kind of just do your thing and move on.
Yeah, kind of just like skin on skin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it really, I feel like it depends on the person you do it with.
Yeah, yeah. Where when it comes to making love, I
Yeah.
think personally, like in gay area, in gay culture, it's very like for being a gay guy, like guys have this standard, and it's like standard throughout all like gays or whatever. So like the man either assumes the top position or bottom position. Like you're either the top or you're the bottom. You're giving or you're taking it. You know what I mean? And guys within the community label each other that. You know what I mean? And so if you're labeled a bottom, like you're labeled like very feminine. You know what I mean? And if you're the top, you're labeled the masculine guy. And there's guys that strictly stick to one, or there's guys that intermingle with both. And I feel like that plays a huge role in, like, I guess the kind of sex that you have. It's like two bottoms would never get with each other, but I've met bottoms that have gotten with each other, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's weird because like two tops, they'll probably fight who's going to be the bottom, and then like two bottoms, they'll fight who's going to be on top. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man.
So it's, I don't know, it's like a weird dynamic for, I guess, personally me, because like I like what I like. And I don't know, it's like finding somebody to match that energy. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just really tough, personally for me. A lot of other guys probably, like a lot of other gay guys probably won't be hard for them because guys are, I don't know, a lot of guys. I'm not like a lot of other gay guys. I feel like I'm just a fairy on my own. I'm a unicorn.
You've got all the girls in the comments still wanting you regardless. They're
Oh.
asking if you want twins.
If I want twins. So sweet.
All right, Janie. What? Yeah, Janie. What about you, Janie? What about you?
Yeah, I'm the same as Alfred. Like I'm vocal as well. Like I guess I was really blessed though. I had like a really good relationship, like sexual relationship to begin with. So I was fortunate enough to have someone that was willing to talk about it and willing to work for us both to work together to have like good positive sexual experiences and like healthy sex. And I know that that's not something that many people get. So to be able to have that and to start at a place where I did feel very comfortable communicating what I loved and him being able to communicate what he liked as well and working together, it makes it a lot easier. And with the whole, definitely, not all men know how to have sex, and that's only because sex isn't something that's spoken about. And I did write a post about this like not long ago because, you know, in relationships, sex seems to be the main thing. Sex, it's like everyone just wants to go into the relationship just to have sex, just so that they can say, yeah, I slept with him, blah, blah, blah. But like, what else is there in the relationship? Because, you know, it's about all the things. It's not just about having sex. Like, yes, sex is amazing, but everyone can have sex. Everyone knows how to do it. But is it good though? And do you actually feel good about it when you finish? And does he go off feeling good about himself, or does he go off questioning, did I do this right? Did she like that? Did I, you know? That's why I'm like, why don't we have these conversations? Like, if sex is really that important to you, why don't you make it important to you by having conversations about it with your man or with your woman so that you can enjoy it together and work on it together? Like, I feel like sex is something that could just evolve like into so many other things. Like, you know, when you're at school, sex is just like, you know, you just do this and it's just so simple. And that's all everyone wants to do. They just want to get in, do the thing and get out. But as you grow older and you learn more about yourself, you learn more about what you want and what you enjoy. I feel like it's so important to have these conversations because sex can be like a whole different level. Like, have the talking, bring in all the kinks if that's what you like, you know, add some toys in there if this is what you enjoy, and don't be shy about it. Like, at the end of the day, you want to feel good, you want the other person to feel good, so why not all of you, like both of you, work together to make you both feel like freaking amazing. Like, when you finish, you should both feel amazing. You shouldn't feel like burnt out and just fall asleep. You should be able to sit there in each other's energy. You should be able to like sit there in each other's energy and like actually be like, yeah, like this is amazing. Like, we are amazing together. Like, what we have is so beautiful. Rather than like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, yes, I came. That's it. The job's done. I'm going to bed. You know, like really take it to the next level. Like that's the level that I want to be on, and that's where I'm striving to be. And yeah, I will just add in, like, I've been celibate for like the most part of the last 5 years because of all of my sexual experiences and because of not feeling that worth through just having sex for the sake of it. And so that's why I was like, actually, you know, I'm worth more than just having sex because I can have sex. What about having sex on a whole different level where I can communicate with my man and where we can both work together and have such a beautiful relationship on a whole different level? So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I feel like I just really want everyone to have a relationship, a sexual relationship on that level, because like, how beautiful would that be to just, you know, wake up in the morning and have beautiful conscious sex, not just like having a good quick fuck and then going to work, you know? And that's what I want everyone to feel like. Sex is so sacred. And I feel like once we get to a level where we can have sacred sex, everyone would just be like vibing on a whole different level. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
love
right.
that. I love all of that.
All right. Yeah. It's
One more question.
Go ahead.
Is the job done when you come?
For guys, I feel like it is. You know, it's just I don't know why I feel like that.
Well, for you, Alfred, like it would be like two of you. So like if one comes first, are you gonna like you still have to go until the other one does, don't you?
I mean, personally, I'm that kind of lover. You know what I mean? Like, if I busted, and then I would make my other partner bust. You know what I mean? Because like I give and I take. You know what I mean? I would feel completely like I would feel some type of way if that guy busted and I didn't, and I'm like sitting over here like, okay, like fuck you. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. Like, it ain't gonna suck yourself. But I feel like I don't know. It's like I I I guess for guys, it's after you bust, it's kind of like it's sometimes it's hard not to fall asleep right away because it's like it just your body just falls asleep. Like it just you know what I mean. You can't help it. And I've been in relationships like that, like in a relationship where after we're done, he just falls asleep. And to me, that's cool with me. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that because I'm okay with it. If I guess you just have to be okay with it if you're that kind of person. If you're not okay with it, then I guess that has to be vocalized. But I'm okay with it because it makes me feel like, yep, job well done.
Mhm.
Did that shit again. Like,
Yeah, I think for me it just depends on the cat. Like for me, if it's a casual relationship with somebody that's like short term, I'm not like I'm kind of selfish. I just want to get my
and the truth comes out.
I just want to get my nut in. I'm good. If it's casual, like if it's short term, like but if it's long term, if I'm really if I really like somebody, it does matter to me. I want to make sure like not only I get satisfaction out of it, but I want to make sure she gets satisfaction out of it. And I make sure like I put in more effort. Hey Alfred, I don't know if you
How do you know if she's satisfied? Because you have come.
it really well, I think it just depends on the person, depends on the person. Like I feel like
You have to communicate.
huh? I don't communicate. For me, it's just like it's just this connection. You just know when each other's satisfied. But that I think that's over long term relationship.
Yeah.
Like
If you've done it, if this ain't your first rodeo.
yeah, exactly. If it's your first rodeo, you learn each other's sexual language and body. Of
Yeah.
knowing when she's faking it or I'm faking it. All right. So like you understand each other. That comes with a long-term relationship. But I feel like it's really hard to know if it's a casual relationship to know if somebody's satisfied. If you just met this person or you don't really have that relationship with each other. I think that it works better when you have somebody you've been with all the time. And Alfred, I don't know, I want to ask you this, but I feel like for guys, like we kind of know like what this is like the woman we love after we nut, like, after we're done.
What do you mean?
Like, have you ever heard of like post nut syndrome?
Yeah. You got a clear mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's like
yeah,
a
like
post.
yeah, but then after that we know, okay, this is the one.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't explain it to girls, but yeah, the post nut, like
your mind clears. There's like I saw this post earlier. There's like it was like, what if you won $100,000 or if you won like $1 million, what would you do? And the guy said that he would bust it up real quick so he could make a decision with a clear mind. Because that's so true.
Yeah,
I feel like
so
afterwards, I mean, like, I don't know. It's so weird. You could literally turn 180 and be completely different after. After you did that, you could be like, fuck, I should have never done that. Or you
exactly. That's how I know. This is the one.
Yeah.
Sometimes after you're done, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I made a mistake.
I can never tell the homies.
I can't explain it to you girls. You guys who watch it, you guys know what I'm talking about. But there's just something after you just know. You have to clear your mind. You're like,
it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. So yeah.
I feel like, but I guess back to what you were saying, Shinarah. I don't know personally. I don't have sex with women, so I don't know when she's ready or not, done or not. But having conversation with a bunch of my homegirls, it feel like it takes a lot longer for women. You know what I mean? And it's a lot tougher, I guess, for women to get there. And I feel like that's why sex a lot of times isn't a big thing for a lot of women, because women just don't get satisfied to the level that Jani was talking about. Jani wants to be loved to this really like amazing and beautiful level, but it's since you're not there, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're more there 1 time out of 10. It's like now sex isn't even all that great to you because you never get to that euphoria.
Yeah, and the way Janie's explained it is it takes effort. And the thing is like sex doesn't really take a lot of effort if you're going to come and nut that quickly, right? And sometimes it's just easier for a guy to just like have sex rather than give women the love that they deserve.
I would say this, the like the best experiences I've had was just like when it was a lot of like foreplay. It was a lot of like before the actual doing, before the action. We took some time and just put in that effort to just mate and love each other before we actually had sex. So I've noticed that whenever it was just sex, it wasn't like I noticed with the partner, it wasn't really satisfying for him because I just satisfied myself. But I do notice for a lot of women when you put in that effort in the beginning, it does go a long way and not just go in there and just handle it and do what you do as guys and leave. I do notice that women do appreciate that extra and arousing them before actually doing it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of women love foreplay. I feel like that for them.
Yeah.
Like
you guys love foreplay?
Foreplay, I know a lot of
you
women.
guys appreciate foreplay? Like before having sex, like you appreciate a guy like giving guys that foreplay, that arousal before.
I actually think it's really necessary because it takes a while for, I don't know what it's called, there's our inside that spark up inside before you guys should be penetrating. So and I only learned that within the last year. Like I literally didn't know that. And obviously we don't know what we don't know. So if like you don't speak about it from people who do know what they're talking about, you're always going to be like unsatisfied with sex, because especially like that's why another thing I don't understand casual sex, because it's like, why the fuck would we want to have casual sex with you guys? Because like we're not satisfied. Like I would rather satisfy myself with a toy, or like there's like, I mean, yes, there's a warm body, but blah.
Yeah, try it first before you speak on it. Try it first. Okay, I'll give you that. All right, guys. I'm gonna just do some one more super chat, and then I'll ask you guys to give us some final thoughts about the podcast, what you guys think. So I'm gonna just do this one last final chat for everybody. Real quick, give me 1 second. Let me just share my computer real quick with y'all. And let me do. All right, guys. So if you guys, everybody, if you guys are still watching, please show some love. Thank you so much for the other guy that donated $19 for the first time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But like I said, show some love, show some support to my channel, and show some super chats. I would love to hear the comments. I'd love to get your answers to question on live. If you, like I said, these are the guests have taken the time. They're here. If you guys want to ask them a question, ask them now. And like I said, if you ask a question to add to the show before we leave, and if you guys want to call us, I would challenge somebody to call. I'm very interested to hear somebody speak their mind and step up and talk to us and what you guys really feel about the podcast itself. But would appreciate it. All donations, like I told you guys before, would go directly to me, to getting my own studio one day. That's my ultimate goal one day, is to get my own studio out here in LA, so I can have a place where I can invite guests, and then we can come here, fly them down here, and I can have real live podcasts with them. So that's ultimately my goal one day. Screenshot this real quick, so that way I'm gonna go back to my guest, screenshot it, show some love, and thank you so much. I'm gonna go back and stop sharing. All right, cool. All right, so guys, we've come to the end of our podcast, and I just want to ask you guys all real quick, just give me your final thoughts on the podcast. I know this is all your first time. What do you guys thought about it? I know a lot of you guys were nervous in the beginning coming on here. I know sex and dating relationships is always a very tough subject. Call it taboo subject, especially when it comes to Polynesians. But like I mentioned to you guys before, and I think Shinarah said it best, this is a very important topic, especially when it comes to relationships. We do need to talk about sex. We do need to talk about dating and relationships. because I always say I do believe that choosing the right partner or who you have children with is one of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make in your life that will make a big impact in your life. And so I do feel like it's important to make sure you got ultimately it's going to come down to your own decision, but I want to make sure people are making the right decisions for their life. So that way, whoever you have sex with or you have a relationship with, that person can add value to your life and make your life better so you can live a happier life. And that's the purpose. I don't want you guys to go down the route of choosing the wrong person. You guys have all been there. We've all had our experiences. That could take a lot of toll on us. So I want you guys to make sure that you guys find the right person for you so you guys get attracted. So, but ultimately to all you guys real quick, just give me your thoughts, what you guys thought about the podcast. What did you learn? What are things that you didn't know about, or just give me overall thoughts of what you thought about being on this podcast. And I'll start with Jani.
Yeah, I really love I just love these conversations. Like you said, like I feel like we don't have them enough. So just having the conversations and opening up the topics that we did tonight, like it's so powerful. And we definitely need to do more talks like this because no one ever talks about it. And like you said, like we don't know what we don't know, and everything that we've learned or everything that we've shared tonight is just things that we've learned along our own journeys and experiences. So I feel like the more that we do this, it'll be so much better for other people. And like I was just reading through some of the comments as well, people just talking about how they could never talk about these topics with their family, like because it's so like tapu, and that's exactly why we are here having these conversations, because we want to change that narrative. We want to change the belief that sex is taboo and we
Sex
shouldn't
is
be
evil.
all these things. Sex is evil and sex is only to make babies, but sex is also there for pleasure and for, like you said, to clear your mind. And sex is actually one of the best ways to manifest. Like there's so much more to sex than just having sex. So no, I'm really, really grateful that you're having these conversations, Will, and like starting it up, relationships, dating and everything. And yeah, really, really cool. So thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for having these hard conversations.
No problem. Thank you.
And thank you to you, Alfred and Shinarah as well, for your time and your beautiful insight on
Yep.
all the cool things. Love.
All right, Shinarah, your thoughts about the podcast?
Yeah, I just want to firstly say thank you so much, Will, for having us on. It was an incredible topic to speak on, and I think we do need to have more of these conversations. Like I have grown up in a family where this isn't an open subject. Like it's not okay to speak about it. So the only times we did get to speak on these things as polys was to our friends, and even then it wasn't very open because we're so scared to speak on it. And like we're getting comments in the comments now even saying that family, like that people's families like wouldn't like that they spoke on these things. So yeah, we're definitely here to change the narrative. We're definitely here to open up. I think it's a really important thing to understand as well that just because someone views sex, relationships and all the rest differently doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. It just means we have different views, and that's so okay as well. And just understanding that we can accept each other for wherever they're at. But yeah, I've really loved being on here with you guys. Alfred, you have such a beautiful energy. I'm so grateful to have crossed paths with you. And Will, you have such a beautiful masculine, very strong and driven energy. I'm really grateful to have crossed paths with you as well. And obviously my soul sister, Jani, I'm doing the rest of my life with you. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.
No problem. Thank you. And then Alfred.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think this was really cool to talk about sex. Like I talk about sex with my friends, but I never talk about sex with other polys and like other islanders, you know what I mean? Especially on this kind of platform. And then like I definitely want to give a big shout out to all, LGBT gay Pacifica community out there watching, tuning in and listening to this. It's for a lot of gay guys, especially like me, it's really tough to talk about gay sex, you know what I mean? And it's like it's a very taboo in a taboo, So I hopefully I gave some good insight about what it is. I guess like a man-on-man kind of relationship. But yeah, like I said, I'm like I was really ready to break down some barriers today and really speak about some stuff. Hopefully, hopefully people are not coming for me in the comments. I honestly I didn't even notice that all these comments are coming through, and now that I could see all these comments, I'm kind of excited to go back and read them. But yeah, dude, like I definitely want to. Like I think you're doing really good things out here, Will. Like I definitely think you are about to be a really big figure one of these days. Like I think, and it's for having conversations like this and like opening up and giving the mic to a lot of other people who want to speak about, their own personal experiences. So like personally for me, it was hard because I didn't have anybody to role model off of. I kind of had to go figure things out. And it was tough, I guess, just being comfortable for myself doing that. And I know a lot of other gay islanders out there kind of feel the same way. They don't, they don't really know how to do it, so they kind of do it. And like a lot of men that are married with children end up cheating on their wives with other men. Like I don't know, I feel like conversations like this is gonna open it up, and so that hopefully if guys realize that about themselves, they can stop themselves from like marrying a woman and follow your heart and actually be yourself, rather than getting yourself with three kids, a woman, like married to a woman, and then cheating on her with a man. That's, I feel like we didn't get to cover that topic, but that's a big one. There are a bunch of guys out there.
It's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, like I said, it's all love. I appreciate the post. I appreciate everything that you've been doing, Will. So much love, bro.
Yeah, and then like I said in closing, I just want to say thank you so much for all you guys. I really appreciate you, Alfred, Jani, and Shinarah. Also, then taking the time. You guys all. That's why it's so beautiful for me, because you guys are in New Zealand, and right, you guys in New Zealand, and it's just the beautiful thing about social media, that we can connect with each other, even though we're all in different continents and different countries. But I guess our vision and purpose brought us together here to have these type of conversations. But not only for us, a lot of it is for us. It was interesting for us to find out, but also for everybody out there, because a lot of people have questions, and you guys not only added value to this group, but you also added a lot of value to people out there that are looking for answers. So I cannot thank you guys enough. So I just want to say thank you so much for all you guys. Appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And let me ask you guys a real quick question. Would you guys be down for part 2? Just wanted to ask. Part 2? Down for part 2?
Most definitely. I feel like we talked about a lot of like good stuff today, but now I kind of want, next time if I ever get the chance, I kind of want to get in and speak about some dirty stuff. You know what I mean? I'm with it.
All right, Jani, part 2. Part 2, Jani.
Yeah. Jani and I wanted to like touch on the deeper stuff tonight. But absolutely, we can do like the dirty stuff too. We're so cool.
Hey,
but yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. Yeah, okay, I got you guys out for part 2. Yeah, definitely make that happen. I'm gonna close off the podcast real quick with our theme song, and then I'll just play the theme song real quick, and then we'll be done.